Good. There we go. Right. Well, it's been a while. Welcome to this episode of Fake Awake. I'm not going to say what episode it is because we're going to come to that in a minute. So, for the minute, I'm just going to say, uh, I'm Nathan Lucius, maybe. That's Steve James, possibly. Um, and today we're going to really push the boat out with conspiracy related topics and truth seeking and God, Steve, we've really got some clangers on this one, haven't we? We've got some proper
Yeah,
research to share with
I'm looking
people.
forward to getting stuck in tonight. In fact, I've brought two drinks for tonight. Would you like the glow from the lamp through that glass? That's just
It's
one of them. I've also got that's red wine, ladies and
oh,
gentlemen.
uh-oh.
This is
Oh,
poor man's Kraken, which is
oh.
some sort of dark rum from Lidl. Can I show the?
Well, I think so. I mean, if we just make it up, it'll be all right, right?
Yeah,
So, I mean,
obviously, just to go by the YouTube standards, I'm not sponsored by Liberté,
uh,
but it's
oh,
quite at 17 quid a bottle. I think it's perfectly acceptable for a short podcast. What do you reckon?
I think it's absolutely fantastic. I'd join you, but I drank all my whiskey and I'm on the water.
Hey, mate, you're
Mm.
doing us proud. I'm obviously letting the side down by consuming alcohol, and I know this will probably trigger loads of people in the.
Well, I think this might trigger just a few, but just to let you know that in that drink there, I've got galactic avian juice mixed with monotonic randomness, which is very good for the spirit and for enlightenment. And I guarantee you one thing, mate, by the time I finish that glass of water, the glass will be empty. And that's a promise. It's a promise from a conspiracy, well, former conspiracy theorist. I'm not a conspiracy theorist anymore, mate.
Mm,
Um, I mean, I'm genuinely not, but equally, I'm going to give you the fun part of that first. I'm now a conspiracy maker-upist, which is now the new term for previous people known as conspiracy theorists.
mm.
God, you'd think I was the one on the whiskey. I'm not. I wish I was. It'd be great. Right. So, before I get tonight's rather bizarre slideshow up, have you got anything you want to add before we go into this?
No, I'm quite happy to get stuck in.
Fantastic. Right. Okay. May the Lord and the gods of whatever forgive me for what I'm about to do, because this could be very strange. Right. Share that. Let's go for it. And right, has that come up on the screen properly this time?
Yeah, just come up.
Right. Fantastic. Right, that needs to go away as well. Right, you get off the screen. Get off. Get off. God, technology. You got to love it, haven't you? So,
Mm.
it never works when you really, really need it to. You notice that?
Mate, I've had some serious IT issues the last month or so. So,
Well, I mean, I know a little bit about that, but equally, I sympathize on the computer front, mate, because when they go wrong. And people say, "Oh, why do you get upset about your computer not working?" Well, because it seems to ruin your day very much, and it's very expensive. And if you know nothing about software problems and hardware problems, then it becomes a nightmare. That's why I think it's fair to say, isn't it?
yeah,
So,
mate.
yeah, I mean, over the years, I've had my fair share of that, and honestly, it's exhausting, it's stressful, it's expensive. So I sympathize with you, I really do. So, right, okay, so this is episode whatever you fancy of Fake Awake in the Drunken Alchemists podcast. Only one of us is drunk on this occasion, and it ain't me, apart from my galactic avian juice and monatomic lead. I don't know. That sounds
Can
all right,
I
doesn't it?
can I just mention it is actually the early hours of the morning, and before you give me a buzz and said, "Do you fancy doing a podcast?" Um, I'd already had a couple of glasses of wine, to be fair. So if I appear to be a little bit flushed, there's good reason for it. But however, it is May the 1st, which is a
Mm,
very significant date in the occult calendar. So I think that's quite significant. It's worthwhile pointing that out. So I'd just like
yeah.
to actually, while we're talking about alcohol, happy birthday to the Illuminati. And
Oh.
Wait a second. That's
Oh,
the wine done. I'm also going to raise a glass here, and some people might, kind of not be too impressed with this, but it's also a happy birthday to the Church of Satan, 60 years old today.
you do realize if I was to pick up my magical glass of magic water and toast that, we'd never live that down. We would be
Mm,
forever be the Satanists who announce themselves on bloody, Walpurgisnacht on May the 1st, and we'd
hmm
never live that down. So I'm not going to toast you just yet, cause honestly, that will come, right? So as much as the truth movement likes to make a lot of shit up these days, I think they would definitely jump to the wrong conclusions with that. But anyway,
Without a doubt.
I mean they definitely would. But yeah, rightly, birthday of the Illuminati. What is it? May the 1st, 1776.
Hmm
I think it lasted for a grand total of about 15 years before it was dissolved. But don't worry, folks, they're back apparently, because people told us so on a podcast. Um, and the ironic part about it is, yeah, a lot of people do refer to them as the Illuminati, which I find actually quite insulting to us, really. The regular people, the general people, because to put somebody on a pedestal and call them the illuminated ones, as in the enlightened, um, and to refer to them as that, even though they're bringing so much darkness into the world, I think that's a bit insulting. And so, if we continue to call them so-called the Illuminati, then I think that's a bit of a hoity claim for them and a bit of a
Yeah. I
stand
mean,
down for us, really.
it would be worth having a little bit of a potted history, just a very short one, because
Yeah,
apparently the Illuminati, the Bavarian Illuminati, were originally known as the Perfectibilists.
yep.
And their founder, Adam Weishaupt, he died on a very significant date. It was the 322nd day of the year, which is November the 18th. So that's another date to watch out for in the kind of conspiracy calendar. So day 322 of the year. Of course, I'm sure many listeners will kind of understand or appreciate what that number value represents, the satanic season of sacrifice. And just out of interest, you're probably well aware the 40-day period known as the satanic season of sacrifice actually ends today, which is the 1st of May,
There we
May
go.
Day, the
Mayday. Do you know
birthday
anything
of
about
the.
maypoles and maypole dancing in terms of occult knowledge and things like that? Do you know anything about that?
Just that it kind of celebrates the period known as Beltane. Of course, that's when May Day falls on Beltane, which is part of the pagan calendar, the cycle of the year. And of course, the maypole represents the male phallus, and of course, the dancing around the male phallus, the maypole is all about fertility rituals, which is what many of these events and calendar dates in the sort of pagan scheme of things are about.
Okay, I'll go for that. I mean, I think at some point, what I'd like to do for a future show when we're not being quite so, let's say, disorganized,
Mm.
um, is to go into all the sacred calendar dates throughout the year that are celebrated, like from an occult perspective, because I think there's a lot there, and I would say there's two common themes. One of them, ironically, is let's say the Blade Chalice, or if you want it a little bit more overtly, it's got overt sexual overtones to all of it. To do with male female reproduction, you know, just all of that stuff. But equally, it's got a lot to do with the sun's rise and fall, the sun's position in the sky, the sun's position within certain constellations at that specific time of year. Um, but for today, as we are being proper truth seekers, I'm going to say none of that really matters because we can just manifest stuff up as we like it today. So as it's May the 1st, may we manifest some random stuff randomly.
Yeah, do
Cause
you know what? I'm gonna
yeah.
love and light to that, mate. Love and
Oh,
light.
well, look at that. See, you're holding your glass up, and there's a halo behind it, which means it's chosen,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Now, it's a very special occasion that because when a glass of wine is really really enlightened like yours, great things will happen. So
Well,
And
I'm looking at the bottle here, and it actually says the blood of Christ. So
you are joking.
no, I'm not joking, of course, because I mean, I'm going to guess today's going to be a bit of a jokey type of episode. I don't know. What do you reckon?
I'm really hoping so because I could do with it these days. I don't know about you, but I'm gonna I'll tell you why I've done this, but I'm not gonna tell you why until I've done it. So if that is
Oh,
rambling,
that's exciting.
good. So that's just so for those listeners who want to know what's going on, I'm afraid you're just gonna have to wait right until the very end of this presentation, which will be in about just looking at my invisible watch there, 5 minutes time. So probably not even. Right. So, mate, let's get down to business. So, today's episode, starring in order of randomness, is Jesus, who's going to appear in a minute. Julius Caesar, because the original JC. Just saying. Nathan something. I forgot my own name. I'd like to say it's because I'm drunk. I'm not. And Steve Thingy Majig something or other.
That's me.
That well, it was either that or Jesus. I'm not sure which one I was talking to. It's the sunglasses, mate, inside. It's the enlightenment behind you, and it's a bit off-putting, you know. The radiant. There you go. You got the halo. There you go. Are we sure that you're
Hey.
Steve and not the other fella? Is that what we're going for? Right. And more importantly, mate, we are joined today in principle by a very special mystery guest who we have designated as Truth Seeker of the Month. And you've had a little sneak peek of Truth Seeker of the Month before
Yeah,
it comes on the screen. That's a he. You've just given it away. Um, do we think it's a good selection for this month?
I do. Yeah, I think. I mean, all will be revealed. So I'd like to think people will hang on in the conversation to see. I'd like to say this is an exciting episode. It's going to be full of thrills and spills. I think
Or fun
humor.
and frolics?
Yeah.
It could be one of those Saturday afternoon things. We could like in half an hour's time we could bring like this massive fan in and throw money randomly around. We've got to like grab as much as we can within a 30-second period. Although there's two problems with that. One, the only money I've got is a £20 note, which would make it like a very, very poor takings. And number two, I'd probably be still chasing it around half an hour from now, going, "Oh, this is ridiculous," you know. So we're not going to do that, thankfully. Right. So clearly the picture on the screen depicts us because we're mental. But don't worry, we have an entire movement that is also mental, and that I would actually like to go into from a serious perspective,
Hmm.
but not just yet. So uh, the topic of tonight's conversations, Steve, are in no particular order whatsoever: manifestation, made-up history, active denial, undercover robots, and reduced effort, but also
Right.
ridiculous claims of absolutely anything without evidence whatsoever because we have the feels,
Mm.
which some in the new age community will understandably know internally that means it's intuition. So
Oh.
we are gonna discuss our intuition, our feels, our inner knowing, which is a very important aspect of truth seeking these days. It's some people call it intuition, some people call it instinct. I would say that instinct's very different because that's more of an animal fight or flight thing, and it doesn't really matter about that. But equally, it's all about inner knowing and manifestation.
Well, if in doubt, inner knowing trumps truth and principle and fact and evidence. So, I mean, I'm sure the
Yeah.
truth movement have beat me to that one. I think they've been following their inner knowing, the feels, for pretty much, most of their truth-seeking history. So,
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, call me facetious, but
Well,
um,
all right, facetious. But that's, I mean, if that's what you want to go by, that's absolutely fine. But I would say some of them are now. We have to acknowledge that some of them have been awake for a whole 5 years now, um, because they were triggered and into action by the catalyst known as the con
mm,
vid of 2020, and it's been 5 or 6 years. Oh God, what's 6 years now, isn't it? My God, I feel old.
God, yeah.
Yeah. So
But
so
but just think, I mean, to be fair, I think
yeah.
a lot of them, and again, this might sound a little bit disrespectful to some, but if we continue to post light papers and hold up banners at on a roundabout. Eventually, another 6 years, I reckon another 25 people will have woken up and have cottoned on to the con, and they'll come and join the movement. Well, I don't know. What do you
Exactly.
reckon?
And the good thing is in 5 years from now, those people just waking up now will also be veterans and experts. And some of them, this is the best bit, some of them won't have just watched the podcast or some guy on the telly. Some
Mm.
of them will have even read the odd book.
You're joking. I
Uh,
wouldn't if they'd read our book. No, in
well,
fact, it wouldn't because that would be like it would be like admitting defeat, it wouldn't it? Reading our book because
yeah.
let's face it, nobody wants the accolade of being fake awake.
Well, I mean, I don't know about you, mate, but I mean, I'm all right being fake awake because, um, I am now officially a designated manifester. And so I'm going to say that anything's possible. So even if I was fake awake at this point, it's okay because I can just wishful think my way into a better outcome. And in no time at all, wouldn't you know it, I'm going to be an expert. And so don't. There's hope. There's hope for all of us. Speaking of which, though, I will just give it a shameless plug.
Oh, I
Now,
love it.
there you go. I've had a restock actually. If you see finally, right, if you see in the background there, you'll see I've got an entire shelf full of my
Oh,
own
I
book.
see it, yeah.
Finally,
I was going to
um,
say that one you've just held up, that looks rather glossy and a brand spanking new, so brilliant.
well, it does a bit. So being like serious for a minute. Now, this is the first time I've had a delivery from Amazon where there's no noticeable like flaws or rips or anything with the copies they've sent me. And I've got 15 pristine copies at the back there that are in immaculate condition, which I've got to say for Amazon is quite remarkable because every single delivery I've had from them, including my initial consignment when it was just published, I think I ordered about 40 copies back then.
Hmm.
Um, and I would say at least one fifth of them were damaged in some way, shape, or form. So
Yeah.
not good. But anyway, this one is the most recent version. I've got a little bit of an announcement for this one. So what I'm going to say is, if you do want a copy of the original version, which is this one, might I suggest you get one while you can because it's currently in the middle of an update, re-edit, and um, well, I'd like to say expansion, but it is, but it's going to be split into volumes. There's going to be a whole lot more content going into it, but it's because of the stuff that's in there is going to have to be split. And part of the reason that I'm doing that, mate, is because the stuff that's in there, there's two reasons for it. One, some of the stuff that's in there, I no longer feel like it needs to be in there because it seems to, I don't know, divert away from a lot of the things that I want to get through. And the other thing is, there's so many bloody psyops now in operation within the so-called truth and freedom movements that I've just been looking everywhere you look at these days, right on the internet. You look at books that are being released, you look at authors that are now in the limelight, and they are pushing so many ridiculous concepts as the truth, right? And again, this is me being truthful for a minute. So I'm looking at again. We know people in our previous social circles, if you want to call it that, former truther circles, that get easily offended over certain things, and not because of any other reason than you disagree with their opinion or they disagree with your opinion. And so because they disagree with your opinion, that therefore makes you wrong and them right. Apparently this is how logic, reason, and rationality works these days. Anyway, so I've gone through the book and I thought, right, there's at least six more psyops that I can get put into that. With including no names mentioned at this point, what I'm referring to as a rewrite of fake history. So there are people at the minute pushing books and doing the rounds on podcasts that are blatantly making up history or falling back on, let's say, other people's uh, what am I going for here? Other people's opinions, other people's narratives, and then claiming it as the truth. And again, I'm not going to mention any names here because I really need to back up what I'm saying before I go on the offensive with this one. But there is a lot of people making up history within the movement, whilst claiming that the bad guys, the Illuminati class, the parasite class, whatever you want to call them, are preparing for a great reset, which is all well and good. But I would argue they're not currently the ones rewriting the narratives. Um, at the minute. I mean, I'm not saying, they're completely innocent because we both know they're not. But anyway, right, that aside, I'm going to shut up and get on with this very important presentation. This obviously is Ralph Wiggum from The Simpsons. It's Mark Passio's favorite character. So, as it says in the image here, Daddy, I made a global warming in my pants. I'm not doing a Wiggum impression because it would be terrible, but I can do one, and I'm sure you can help me with this one, which is we're winning. According to Mark Passio, so it is Ralph, isn't it? It's Ralph Wiggum. There you go.
Ralph
Ralph
Wiggum, yeah.
picking his nose, making some good old flat Earth bogeys there, and flicking them at his respective onlookers, whilst creating global warming in his pants. Now, claimer, no, not claimer. That's what we're doing later. We're claiming shit. Right, this is a disclaimer. So for the viewers watching, if you're easily offended, don't be. Most of what we're going to say in this podcast is probably going to be made up for reasons. Why? Because we have the intuition and we have the manifestation. And if you
The
believe
inner
Rhonda
knowing.
Byrne, exactly. But if you believe Rhonda Byrne, you have the secret where you can just wishful think your way out of anything. Write it in a series of books and sell it to gullible people who believe every word you tell them. And then put out a documentary on YouTube that says absolutely different things and oddly enough makes sense where the books don't. Anyway, there we go. So, that being said,
Well, do you know
uh,
what? Can we balance that off before we
what
talk
you,
about? In fact, before we mention the blue avians, can
oh,
I mention the fact
spoiler.
that? Well, sorry, mate. Can I just mention that? I mean, I'm sure most of the people who have listened to our podcasts in the past will know that we stand for self-ownership. We
Yes.
stand for natural law. We
Yep.
stand for the non-aggression principle. And ultimately, we don't necessarily advocate for some of the trusted systems and institutions that have kind of paved the way to our current position of tyranny and enslavement, i.e., the government. So, hey, I hope that kind of gives a little bit of a taste for what we're about.
Well, it does. So if we're gonna be absolutely serious about disclaimers, I mean, again, look, being offended's a choice. We're not actually doing this to offend people. Although this one might definitely come across as a little bit too sarcastic. But there's method to the madness.
Mhm.
Which obviously you'll have to wait for next year's episode in order to find out what the punchline to that is. But yeah, I think it's safe to say that we are advocates of natural law, which is covered at length in both of our work and presentations and books and all of the rest of it, which is basically to say, do no harm, take no shit. If you want to simplify it,
Yeah.
we're not advocating for anything harmful, violent, etc. We don't owe our allegiance to any secret societies, secret handshakes, or any political affiliations, religious affiliations, none of that. So that being said, you know these fellas are right. Now
I love them.
I mean, they're wonderful, aren't they? These guys are the Blue Avians from the Galactic Federation of let's Topaz, the planet Topaz.
Oh, right, is it? I think it's somewhere along the Palladian galaxy. That's
Is
what
it?
yeah,
Uh,
my inner knowing told me that.
your intuition. Now, so
Yeah.
now I believe you because I trust your inner knowing. Um, on account of it looks pretty on the screen. So avian obviously is referring to birds and blue because, well, they're blue. Um, and depending on who you listen to, these are the guys responsible for building the Great Pyramids, didn't you know?
Oh, wow, that would explain it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they didn't. So when they came to Earth many millennium ago, millennia ago. God, I sound like a bloody donut myself now. They came with magical spaceships and anti-gravitation devices. Oh, hang on a minute. No, 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 I'm getting it all wrong. Sorry. With the Earth being flat, they they magically appeared out of their dimension into our dimension through I'm not going to call them spaceships because that'll be deceptive. Through interdimensional space pods. Is that more accurate? I wouldn't like to spread misinformation.
Mm.
That would be very bad. I wouldn't like to discredit myself like that. That would be ridiculous. But anyway, yeah. So depending on who you believe, these chaps came in their magical interdimensional pods that hovered and also lifted up bricks and moved them around North Africa to build the Great Pyramids. And once they did that, what they did was to they used this laser printing device to put a massive image of an eye on the Great Pyramid with eyelashes and everything. And then what they did is to celebrate their achievements with building the Great Pyramid. They constructed a giant, magnificent bird statue just in front of the Great Pyramid complex, and they painted it blue in like manner. And unfortunately, as the massive bird statue was weathered over the years, millennia, clearly, the beak fell off, and so now it looks like a cat. I mean, the great Sphinx. So,
Mm. A
it's a
cat with a human face.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
this is the thing, though. So, if you put the beak back on that Sphinx, you will actually see clearly that there is a slight likeness to these chaps here, the Blue Avians. Um, and it was in honor of their king, um, Donald, King Donald, which is nothing whatsoever to do with Donald Trump. It's just that is just pure coincidence.
Mhm.
And you might think that Donald is a very earthly name. I would say that you are thinking negatively, and really you need to just increase your vibration so as to,
Yeah.
think a little bit happier thoughts, and definitely don't bring other people's vibrations down with cynicism and skepticism, because
No,
that
I
that
mean,
yeah.
literally, people need to manifest the love and light. Come on, folks at home, manifest that love and light.
Are we have we got any daisies or anything so we can make a little like daisy chain for our heads or something? I don't know. I feel a bit naked without it these days. I do have some crystals. I know this. Hang on a minute. Hang on. Well, I mean, it says crystal wind in there. I don't know. I just basically knobbed it off the internet there. I don't think knobbed off the internet is the correct word, but I'm going to use it anyway. Right. I'm sure I've got some crystals around here somewhere. Ah,
You've got to
right.
have the crystals because if you ain't got the crystals, we're going to end up,
Yeah,
you know,
this is true.
descending into a pit of tyranny.
Well, now, okay. Can I take you through my magical crystal collection?
Oh, go for it.
So here we have a lovely uh, quartz. I think it's what is it? Bloody
Mm.
pink quartz. Oh God, I've forgotten. That's not going to go down too well. I have genuinely forgotten what to call that. It's a very pretty crystal. It's pink. It's magical. Um, it's it's got feelings, so I don't want to really hurt it by letting it know that I've forgotten what it is. In case it gets offended. I've got this weird contraption here. I'm sure it's got a fancy name. Equally, I've forgotten what that is. Moving on swiftly, I do have an amethyst crystal, which this is very magical. In fact, the Blue Avians, they used to use this in their anti-gravity devices, um, to propel themselves above the Earth's surface. But it was better than that because amethyst is such a special crystal. Um, it was very clean energy. It was very
Mm.
light energy because the Blue Avians. I mean, clearly, just look at the fellas. I mean, they've got like weird pendants and stuff. They were very
Mm.
spiritual. They were light workers, in fact, which is why their eyes glow up a nice topaz blue. Some crystalline, if you like, just like these random crystals. Then we've got. I do know this one. This is a special one. I've got blue topaz. There you go.
Wow,
There you go. Blue topaz.
gorgeous
Now,
color.
well, blue topaz, because it was in fact used in the making and the construction of the Great Pyramid with the ion, as well as the great avian statue that currently resides in front of the Great Pyramids. Um, but without the beak. I'm sure somebody found it and put it in a
You
museum.
know, my inner knowing is resonating off the charts
Oh
with this so far. I mean, this is so transcendental.
my
I
God.
mean,
I'm
I
so
think,
glad you said that. I feel the love exuding from your aura.
yeah, I mean, I've got some crystals upstairs, and
You
I
do.
can feel the vibration emanating through my inner knowing.
No way. I mean, as you said that, mate, right? Not a word of a lie. Well, maybe a little bit. Um, I saw like it was almost like your spirit was smiling at me, right? It was so bright and vibrant, and it was really, really resonating at such a high pitch that it was almost as if you're about to astrally project. It was the vibration is very strong with your crystals. Um, and I really do feel this. I feel this inside. I feel the love and light. Mate, I'm honored. I'm honored by this. I'm honored to witness this. I mean, this is. We should make a cult.
Yeah, we should. I mean, because we are entering the age of enlightenment. I mean, I can feel the Aquarian, essence beaming upon us as
Yeah.
we present our infinite wisdom to the masses of humanity who are entering the age of Aquarius.
Now,
And
uh,
it's a golden age.
mate, it's not just a golden age. It's a diamond, sparkling golden age. It's better than a golden age.
Yeah.
And I know this. I feel this. I feel this. I mean, there's a couple of people that on the internet I've listened to over the years that have also said this. What you've just said there, and it must therefore be true. Um,
Got to be.
yeah, and so as we are now clearly entering the age of Aquarius, things are just going to get better. Which is why, mate, we've already won. This battle
Exactly.
against evil. Why are people worried?
Yeah, I mean, what people need to do is they literally need to stop fighting it. They need to just
Yeah.
accept it. And eventually the tyranny will just dissipate because in during this, golden age, the evil will just dissipate. It's a matter of fact because my inner knowing, my heart is telling the world the seeds are pouring to the world to feed the world with infinite love and wisdom. That peace will just enter, and we don't have to do a single thing. Isn't
Well,
that true, Nathan?
Well, I don't think that is quite true. I think the element that you're missing from that is we've already done that amazing thing. It's not that we don't need to do it. It's just that we've already done it now because collectively, we through ignoring our problems and through ignoring the darkness, it's now disappeared as if magic, right? And it's so I can almost see it disappearing in a vapor trail.
Yeah,
Could be a chemtrail. Not sure
I,
about that.
I mean, I don't know how I failed to notice that. If we ignore the darkness, it will go away. Because I don't know about you, when I stop watching videos about, on YouTube about what's going on in the world. It's such a happy place, really happy
YouTube.
place. Yeah.
YouTube brings down my vibration, mate. I mean, I turn it on. There's just so much doom there. Which is why if you don't watch it, the algorithm can't attack you, right?
Mm.
It won't be able to read your mind anymore, and use the powers of darkness to synchronize with your soul and bring your resonance down to 440 hertz, which according to some is definitely not the true resonance field of the Earth. In
Mm,
fact, some say it's 432 hertz, which is bizarre to me because it doesn't sound anything at all like the Schumann resonance
mm.
frequency. But because a certain person has said it recently on the internet, this is what we're going with. This is now true.
It
Um,
must be.
but we are clearly getting off topic, and I don't want to do that because clearly that would be disingenuous. Um, and I do feel the love and light, and just to reiterate what you're saying, so that the audience is on board. We must now ignore all of our problems. We must, if we just ignore the darkness, it will just disappear. It'll just disappear. It'll just go away. And now that we're in a golden age, it's just going to accelerate. By the day, it's going to get faster and faster. Um, and soon we are going to ascend so fast into 45D. Um, I mean, we're going to look like, I don't know, like the Buddha, but on
Yeah.
steroids, only blue.
I think what you're trying to say is we need to just trust the plan. Would you say that?
You took the
Trust
words
the
right out of
plan?
my soul, mate. I think you connected there with me on a soul level.
I mean, it just came to me. Trust the plan. I mean, I don't know why. It's almost like I was inspired by divine energy to come up with such a profound statement. Trust the plan. There's a plan on Earth, and
Yeah.
to be quite honest, I have a feeling that it might be like Donald Trump is behind this. You know,
Well, I
I don't
I
want to
I
spoil it,
happen to
but
know a bit of inside knowledge. Now, I'm not allowed to say who told me this. It's a very high up
mm,
person, but they've been telling me that in fact it's better than that, right? Is that Donald Trump is in fact the Messiah.
you're joking. Is he the king?
Mate,
Ah,
no. Again, I can't say who told me this because that would require me providing you with evidence, and we don't do that when we've got the feels, because that would be ridiculous and it would be very, very negative and it would bring down
yeah.
everyone's vibration. But just trust me, there is a plan, and there's some very special people working in some very high places. Again, with
Mm,
some very lofty individuals there that they've got some very deep inside knowledge about Donald Trump
mm.
being, in fact, the Messiah. And
Wow.
it's
All this
just,
time, hidden in
I
plain
know.
sight.
Well, so this is why he likes to work in towers because he is vibrating very high as an individual. Now, obviously, he's having to integrate with politics, which clouds his judgment a little bit. So
Mm,
so eventually he will have to go back to his towers to get as
mm,
high up above the earth to become an ascendant CEO once again.
mm,
But don't worry, there is a plan, and I know there's a plan.
hmm.
I mean, you can definitely feel there's a plan.
Oh
And
yeah. I mean, I know it in there. It's in there. It's coming from the cosmic rays. I mean, I'm gonna preempt Donald Trump, the
yeah,
Messiah. He's playing 5D chess. You know,
yeah.
all this time, people are like, "Oh, he's a he's look what he's doing. He's advocating for wars, and he's doing all of these things with bad people. He's playing 5D chess. We've got it sus, mate.
5D chess, but not only that, 45D chess. 45,
Wow.
like
It's
like
just like,
like
whoa,
like the 45th dimension that we will soon ascend to through our positivity and love.
wow.
I mean, I feel overwhelmed by the amount of love that I feel, especially in this movement. We are so, supportive to one another,
Mm,
so understanding, and we all like to back each other up and make sure that we are definitely, you know, getting the right message out there and making sure that if one of us falls, that there'll be somebody there to hold their hands and lift us up as if out of the abyss. Is that fair to say?
well, I think you've hit a great point there because the truth movement are so supportive. I mean, recently I did a presentation with a gentleman called Mark Barr from the Coop Files. So please, if anyone's watching this, tune in to the Coop Files on YouTube. Mark Barr and I done a presentation, and 5 people from the Truth Movement turned up.
Five
Five,
whole people.
5 people, five
Crikey.
people, and of course we were talking about things like human consciousness,
Yeah.
about the human psyche and natural law, and how
Uh,
to, how to enable freedom. And of course, 5 people turned up who are now fully enlightened, and imagine the knock-on effect that's going to have in this golden age of enlightenment.
well, I think so. So I'm glad you brought that up because I've been meaning to have a little chat with you about this one. So the thing is, you're not looking at it from the right perspective. The
Mm.
reason that only 5 people turned up is because everybody else in the movement is now at such a high degree of enlightenment and
Yeah,
awakeness.
yeah,
That really what you were offering them, it's almost equivalent to a basic foundation level of understanding, where
yeah. You're right
really
on.
they they believe that they are so far advanced above that, and clearly they are, because they have opinions and stuff, that they don't need your lower vibrational guidance to tell them that there's
Hey,
more to this. Because it,
exactly.
if there was more to this, surely we would know, right? Because I mean, surely the information would just present itself to us at the right opportune moment. In fact, I would say that it would come into our living rooms as we sat there eating our, beans on toast, which is a very enlightening meal to have. Um, and so I wouldn't take that as a negative thing. I think, in fact,
No,
actually,
no.
this is a very, very good positive sign that things, and they're not only changing, that they, as we've said, have already changed.
Yeah. I mean,
And
the good thing is, I think, because only 5 people turned up, the remainder of the truth movement already have rejected natural law. They've fully assimilated it, they've considered it, but they've completely rejected it because, of course, they know better than God. They know better than the laws of creation. So therefore, they can instantly reject the information that will save people because, of course, the blue avians, Donald Trump, Jesus,
don't
oh,
forget Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar. He,
Julius
he
Caesar,
knew.
the
He knew. That's
original
why,
JC.
mate, the original JC, he was there before Jesus, right?
Mhm.
JC, Julius Caesar, Jesus Christ, just saying, no such thing as a coincidence. However, what we do have to bear in mind is that both Jesus and Julius Caesar had blue avian DNA running through their system,
Wow.
right? And this made them so shiny and magnificent, which is the reason why there was a massive conspiracy to remove Julius Caesar and the other JC,
Mm.
because they were too much of a threat, and they knew that unless they removed these two particular threats, it was game over. Well, now though, Donald Trump just saying, trust the plan.
Hey,
Trust the plan.
do you know what? I'm not going to mention the number 17, but those who know.
But I mean, they do. They absolutely do. There was a video circulating, and in a Q drop that said, that on this very day, um, you know, Walpurgisnacht, that there would be a podcast going live to present the truth of this very matter.
What?
And in that podcast would be, now I know this is going to sound like I'm making it up and that it's very coincidental, right? Just believe me. Two guys were going to be having this conversation. One of them would be wearing glasses and headphones, right? Just saying, coincidence? Don't think so.
Mm.
Synchronicity. And the other guy would have an elephant in the living room. It's not a living room; it's a bedroom. Apparently, it's an office. I don't know what are we calling this room. It's a podcast room,
Yeah,
but it is a podcast room. So they did say in a Q drop, look for the glasses and the
yeah.
elephant.
Is that an elephant on your shelf?
My God.
Wow,
Wow.
that must be us. Wow,
Mate. And you've got
Nathan,
glasses as well. What's going on?
what? I think you're on to something.
I
Perhaps
mean,
we're the chosen ones.
what? No, Donald Trump's the chosen one. We are just the prophets.
Maybe we're his advocates. I mean, I've always been a big fan of Donald Trump. Everybody knows that. I mean, obviously, we've got a channel together, Nathan, the Occult Academy, and what we do is we completely berate the likes of Donald Trump and any other, official who represents the institution of government. But of
Mm.
course, this is just a smokescreen, isn't it? Because really, what we're trying to do is enlighten people by, completely lying about you know, our thoughts on the scum. I mean, the government who we love, and you
Yeah.
know, to get people just to really turn their heads around to get them to process so they can develop their inner blue avian knowledge.
And I would say what you've just said there is, I mean, that's almost like speaking to the Ascended Masters themselves. I mean, that was beautifully put. In fact, I think that the most Ascended Master would commend you for that particular rhetoric. And let's not forget that the occult, nothing to do with anything being hidden from view. It is just purely about witchcraft and demonology.
Oh, absolutely. I
Um,
mean, I don't know about you, but the occult is just about promoting evil. That's it. That's all it is. It's everything about it is demonic because fundamentally, that's what the occult is. Anyone who seeks hidden information to learn about the world around them must purely be evil.
well, you know what they say, mate. Like attracts like, and in a new age community like yours and mine, like this love and light community that we reside within. Um, if we were to be delivering occult information and demystifying the occult, which clearly is just all about negative things and
Mm,
possession,
yeah.
witchcraft, all of those dark, heavy, negative things, then I would say that we would be also attracted to those things, being
Well, of course.
an advocate of the law of attraction.
Yeah.
Um,
Because
so
the demons would lure us into the demonic realm. I mean, it goes without reason. As soon as you try to reveal some hidden knowledge about how the world ticks or how the human mind functions,
mm,
you will be attracted to demons. And I mean, I feel as if my soul has already been burned by by revealing certain occult knowledge. I mean, I can only assume that I will enter the pits of hell upon departing this earthly realm because I have tainted my mind.
but
It's
I mean, I don't think you should beat yourself up, mate, because you have redeemed yourself in recent days by accepting that clearly we were wrong about everything, and that nothing, in fact, requires evidence or logic or rational thinking,
yeah.
and that we've been doing it wrong all this time. Clearly, now that we've accepted that the Blue Avians and the worship of the Donald is the true way and path to 45D and true enlightenment, that is now behind us. I think we should potentially just remove all of that from our history, like pretend that it never happened.
Hmm.
Some people would say that we're trying to cover it up by deleting it and removing it, but I would say that we've learned from our mistakes, maybe, but we're just not going to admit that. And so there's only one way forward, mate. And so if you don't mind, because I don't want to stay on the Blue Avians too much without going and introducing our special guest.
Yeah, I think it's time for that big reveal.
It is indeed time for the big reveal. Now, this might come as a surprise to some people, including the pair of us, because I'm actually genuinely thinking this guy's an interesting fella that speaks a lot of truth. Anyway, without further ado,
Da, da, da.
Dum dum dum. This is Chef Gordon Ramsay, not just Gordon Ramsay. This is Chef Gordon Ramsay, and he is
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
well, nobody's worthy because you burnt the fucking ice cream, right? That's why, right? Wow, damn, right? You burnt the fucking ice cream. Don't worry about the scallops. Get out, right? This guy knows how to speak the truth, right? What is it?
Mm,
Know the truth, speak the truth,
yeah.
right? This guy does it, right? Now, clearly, um, very enlightened. And I'll tell you why. Because in two of the pictures he's wearing white. Now, some might say that's because he's a chef. You dumbass, right? I mean, coincidence much, right? I
Yeah.
know, I get it. But the
Whatever.
real mate, and you're wearing white as well. Oh no.
Oh,
Anyway,
mine's an off-white. I'm not quite as pure as Mr. Ramsey.
no, but with enough dedication to wishful thinking, you too can be as pristine as this fella here. Um, you know, well done, mate, Gordon Ramsay. Genuinely, I like this guy, but let's not kiss his ass too much because then people will be like, oh yeah, well, I say he just fancies him or something. Just saying, if you had a pair of arms like Ramsay, you never know. But it's one better than that. Now, so in the middle picture, he's wearing blue, and as those who are also enlightened in the New Age movement and community, they will know that blue is also an ascendant color. It is for the throat chakras, and it goes off obviously into indigo, which is why we have indigo children, because they are ascending beyond the light spectrum into ultraviolet, which is clearly where Mr. Ramsay is headed on
Mm,
account. And um, I must also say, once again, I know it's going to sound like it's a bit of a coincidence, but blue eyes, Gordon Ramsay, blue
mm.
Avians,
It's got to
blue
be. I mean,
topaz.
what can I say? I mean, it's stunning. This is more than a coincidence. This has got to be the real thing. Blue shirt.
Yeah.
He's he's trying to indicate to the initiates that he is from the blue avian, gene structure.
Well, I mean, just look at the tea towel, right?
Wow.
Blue eyes, blue shirt,
Yeah.
but it's more than that. Now, I don't know whether anyone will have noticed this, and some may call it again random coincidence. But if you look at Donald Trump, he's got a certain hairstyle going on there, right?
Mm.
Which does look a bit like Gordon Ramsay's hair.
Wow. Oh,
Now,
this is so. There's so many truth bombs coming out in this. It's
it's a
just
revelation.
outrageous. I mean, even if you look at Gordon Ramsay's watch there, if you look closer, it's
Yeah.
9/11. What can I say? It's
Oh,
90. It's like he knows.
it does. You know,
Wow.
and I think he's been trying to tell us for a long time now. Right. I mean,
Mm.
it's wow, damn. Well done, mate. But I mean, but now, if you just consider this. Now let's take it back. Let's do a comparison. Let's do look at the hair.
Oh
Look,
wow.
look at the
He's
hair.
got he's got the
Yeah,
he's got the Ramsey look.
he's
Yeah.
got the Ramsey look now. Say, I'm seeing a franchise from this. I think we've got a merchandise
Oh,
line.
how about we do a book and we can call it Fake a Bake?
Oh, like it. Blue Faker Bake. Blue Faker Bake. Oh
Oh
man.
wow.
This is brilliant. Now, so what do you reckon? Merch store set up in no time?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
we
What
can wait 1,000 units tomorrow, no problem.
have you got any ideas for merchandise? Because we need to get this message out to the truth community. We need to reveal the truth to the truthers.
But don't you think that with the love and light that we are clearly emitting right now, that they will just be drawn to us again because of the law of attraction? Like seeks like, you
I
know?
Why didn't I think of that? Obviously, if
Yeah.
people are drawn to this video, it's for a reason. You've come oh, you've come to the right place, people. You've come to the right place because Nathan and I are here to truth bomb our lovely community. And really, this is stop trying to wake people up. Stop, just. relax, live your life, live your life. Eventually, it's just gonna magically work out for the best.
I
There's
mean,
trust in the plan.
just trust the plan. What I'm going to say, don't just live your life, live your best life.
Yeah,
Live your best life
yeah.
because that's what it's all about. Living your best life because it's not
Live
that
in your bliss. Live in your bliss.
living your bliss. This is a new one to me. This
Yeah,
that feels so powerful. I sometimes get a little bit overwhelmed. The emotions,
yeah,
the ascendant emotions, they sometimes, it's a moment of weakness. I just get all emotional and sometimes I let my emotions do my thinking for me because why think when you can react?
yeah,
You know,
exactly. I mean, emotions are what's going to save the planet because we don't need to take action, Nathan. As you well know, we don't need to take a single action, a single positive action whatsoever. All we have to do is be emotional. And if
just
we're
yeah,
emotional enough and our emotional energy is at the right frequency, what's it,
it'll
four,
just flow.
four,
It'll
three,
just it'll
two?
just flow. But
Yeah.
but saying that now, just because we don't want to we don't want to bring people's vibration down. When we speak about reacting emotionally instead of thinking, what we're saying is don't get angry. Don't get angry because that just shows that you're frustrated a little bit. That just shows that that they're winning, they're getting the better of you, and this is how they do it. They just make you angry and then they rule your mind because
Yeah.
so the trick is, as you've rightly said, is to just let it go, breathe. Oh,
Yeah,
just like that,
exactly. Don't let them
yeah.
lick your loosh. Don't let them lick your loosh. And when they get us angry and provoked, their loosh is pouring out. I don't know if you can see, the loosh comes out of your ears
It
and
does.
the demons devour the loosh.
I mean, they're just there nibbling all the time,
Yeah.
you know. And so I know that Lucius is in my name a little bit, right? And some people have commented that that must mean therefore I'm the devil.
Oh yeah, well, obviously
Um,
makes
well,
sense.
because it's a little bit like old friend Mark Devlin, and clearly he's got the devil in him. Because I mean, he chose his name when he was at that
Mm.
age, and
Well, did he not choose his name in his last, when he was up in heaven? And oh yeah, I'm going to come back and in this next incarnation, I'm going to choose this as my name.
you mean when he was discussing his life plan?
Yeah, of course,
When
because that's how the universe works, as you well know.
Well, I mean, it's good. It's good that we've got people, these guides up there that they really love and care for us, and they really want the best for
Mm,
us,
hmm
which is why they put us back into this realm of low vibration. This really dense, heavy earth vibration on the flat plane, where they care for us so much that they like to wipe our memories.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And so clearly you and I know that we go back to the soul factory up there, and we have a chat with our guides, and we have an afterlife review and a pre-life review, and we map out our entire lives, therefore negating any kind of free will whatsoever. um which is why they call it fate, because it's fatal, but our guides have done this for us. It's because it's a learning
Because, yeah,
experience. It's for us to learn from. It's for us to gather all this experience and knowledge through our lives, and to rise above that and to ascend beyond that, so that when we do go back to the soul farm, and they wipe our memories again for reasons that don't really make sense. If we're learning all this
we
stuff
just
and
need
then
Nathan again. We just need to trust the plan, the
I keep
divine
forgetting.
plan.
Yeah,
Because I mean, ultimately, even I don't know the full truth. Or is Donald Trump the commander in chief? Is it the Blue Avians? Is it Jesus? Is it Julius? Is it Gordon Ramsay? I don't know who the great Lord is, but if we turn a blind eye to his natural laws and the laws inherent to creation and just trust in the plan, trust in
Do you,
17, trust in 17. Don't tell everybody, but if we trust in
whatever
17,
you do, don't. Right. So the plan is so secret that everybody knows that there is a plan, but nobody knows what the plan is, Steve. This is the genius of it.
mm,
You know, we know because we've got insiders telling us this information, but they're sworn to
yeah, of
secrecy.
course.
They've
We
said
can't
that it,
reveal these people, by the way. Just,
well, no, and we can't even give hints as to who they might be because I mean, with 8 billion people in the world, they might figure it out. If we describe them as like I don't know, human or something, they'll be like,
yeah.
oh, I think
But
it's
I mean, this is obviously top secret, and obviously the top secret friends that we've got in high places who have revealed this top secret information, we're sworn to secrecy. I'm sure, viewers will appreciate that we can't divulge these awesome secrets.
But see, so just to cover our asses a little bit, I know some people would say once again that's a convenient thing to say. Where's your evidence? But the thing is, if we did divulge this information, that will be a severe, deep breach of confidence and a breach of trust, the plan. And we wouldn't want to do that to our higher ups who are part of the deep state, very, very embedded deeply within the deep state,
Yeah,
doing the good works from within.
yeah.
Now, saying that, I know it looks like, Agenda 2030 is rolling forward by the day. I know it looks like technocracy is taking over everything and the AI is
Mm,
taking over our thinking. I know that that's what it looks like. But within those deep cavernous recesses of the political realm where the Donald is doing the good work, the great work, some might say, the
mm,
magnum opus, to help us ascend from this dark dwelling realm of ours, that we can't really expect these people to tell us everything straight away, right? Because that would be silly, especially as information travels very fast on the internet. It's
mm. He's got
and
to do it in bite-sized chunks. He's trying to to garner humanity to ascend in its enlightenment journey, and he can
and
only do that. I mean, you're saying he's playing 45D chess.
yeah.
To be honest, he's playing 47D chess, and those who know what 47 relates to, and you know.
Would you like to Euclid as a cue? Oh, sorry, give us a clue. Sorry, I slipped there. Slipped there. Trust
Euclid,
the
we have
drops.
a problem.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Right. So, right, before we get on to some more very important topics that we're about to make up and randomly yap on about. Well done, mate. Well done. We're proud of you. We're proud. Ramsey,
Yeah.
words
Happy
cannot
well
say it.
Spurgis, Mr. Ramsey.
Here's to avian blood.
Oh, I love it. Cheers, buddy.
Bloody raw. Anyway, sorry. It is. Oh my God. Right. Sorry. I forgot about this chap. So we do have a runner-up this week. Now, this week's runner-up to the Truth Seekers Award goes to this bloke. Well, clearly, as it says, because we think he's awesome.
Mm,
And it took almost 24 hours no, sorry, 24 seconds to come up with this bloke as the runner-up. As I was preparing for this very podcast, I really put a lot of thought into a search engine, and this handsome fella here was clearly the obvious choice for runner-up of Truth Seeker of the Month award. In fact, this guy very nearly got Truth Seeker of the Year award,
mm.
but not quite. Um, Now we know absolutely nothing about him. It's completely random. But as some of you know from listening to this very in-depth and cryptic conversation, nothing happens by chance. I'm just going to leave that with the audience. Nothing happens by chance. no coincidences. And for this chap, we say, get in there. Next week, it could be you.
I'm pretty sure I've seen him at Airbox.
I mean, it does look really familiar.
Yeah,
Maybe he's related to someone at Airbox.
perhaps.
Hmm.
I mean, there might be people watching this have never heard of the Northeast's
Hmm.
biggest truth-seeking community.
Steve, it's time. It's time we had a chat about the Northeast's biggest truth-seeking community. Is it
Should we?
still going?
Well, is it moving in truth, you know, or has it is it resting upon its laurels, or has it just disintegrated into the shell of its former self? Who knows? I mean, if I was being honest, if only 5 people turned up to a truth conference in the Northeast, um, perhaps that movement towards truth is kind of starting to peter out a little bit, perhaps.
Maybe. I mean, it's not. I mean, there's certainly no infighting or petty disputes or division and partisan like behaviors exhibited there at all. I mean, it's all about love and unity.
Of course.
It's so inclusive the way that they bring everyone together and listen to everybody's views and respect one another. Um,
Mm,
there's no. What I like about it is that they definitely have an open mind to listening to information that might be a little bit uncomfortable, but
yeah,
they don't necessarily agree with. Um, you, I think that needs to be commended. I think that's a very commendable effort. Um, so we should probably bear that in mind when speaking of such groups. But
mm,
I think before we bring up uh, I mean, is this as far as oh, that's the end of it. That's the end of the presentation, mate. Well, you know what we have to do now, don't you? I have to go
what's
back
that?
to this bit here, this bit, right? So we've had a little bit of a chat about manifestation, and I'd like to think we can manifest a bit more out of this.
Mm.
Um, Now, made up history. Do you know anything about made up history, Steve?
I can't say I'm a big expert on all of that.
Oh, you could be.
You reckon?
Well, I mean, the way that it works is some guy says a thing on the internet, and you listen to it for an hour, which then makes you an expert, just like the person you listen to, because
Oh,
clearly
obviously.
that's a whole hour of your time. And so if this guy or girl is saying anything specific, then clearly so can you. So I'm just saying. I mean, it is made up history, mate, and from a subjective viewpoint, as opposed to objective reality, if we think a thing or we feel a thing, it will manifest in reality into this dimension because
Yeah, yeah.
collectively we can make that come into reality. So I mean, if you're struggling with making up history, some might say that that's because you're not a disingenuous asshole who's on a grift. I would say that's a bit dark and negative, isn't it? It's I would say really you're just not putting enough effort into it. For example, I mean, where can we go from this? Obviously, clearly Atlantis has to come into the conversation because the Blue
Mhm.
Avians accidentally caused a tidal wave and sank the bloody place when they landed.
Mhm.
50,000 years ago, apparently. And so there is that. Um, and we have records to prove that Atlantis was around 50,000 years ago. I'm not sure where. I think the deep state of taking it and hidden it inside a vault deep under San Francisco.
Yeah.
Um, because the reason for that is there's vaults under there, and there is actually a city under San Francisco. I'm not making that bit up. There is actually a city under San Francisco. Anyway, but it was buried by a very cataclysmic mud flood. Um,
Hmm.
and so basically they've just not been unable to they've not been able to unearth these ancient vaults to prove that Atlantis existed 50,000 years ago, for example. So but that's not their fault. Again, it's
I
just
mean, couldn't Donald Trump have not been there
yeah,
when he went Back to the Future in his
yeah,
Project Looking Glass
yes,
thing? With his uncle who was best buddies with Nikola Tesla.
yep, that's the
So
guy.
yeah, he's obviously been Back to the Future. He's had a glimpse of what went on. He's like, I know the crack here, Sonny Jim.
Is this the Baron Trump?
Oh, that's a slightly different thing because there
Oh,
was a guy called Ingersoll Lockwood who wrote about I think it was called the Mysterious Adventures of Baron Trump,
I
and he
mean,
wrote he wrote
it
a book
could.
called The Last President.
Oh, did he now? Oh, well,
Mm,
I think that's foreshadowing. I think that is
yeah,
foreshadowing. He's the last president who will usher in a new golden age, just like in the Book of Revelation, some would
yeah.
say.
You can almost you can smell the golden age happening, can't you? I mean, I don't know about you, but it's like a lot of people are complaining about tyranny and, further enslavement. But really, when you look at it, I mean, look at what the likes of what's that guy from the Reform called Rupert Law. I mean, it's like
Oh, yeah,
wow. I mean, talk about
yeah,
Jesus Christ.
yeah.
Wow, Jesus Christ, man. Look what
He's
this guy's doing.
he's
Wow.
leading the way. I mean, he's really leading the way in politics. It's almost like he's reinforcing the exact same system that is corrupt to the core and disempowers people,
Yeah,
almost like that. But
it's
however, these days, Steve, I wake up on a morning and I just feel like the world is glistening,
yeah,
sparkling even. And so sometimes when I hear the name Rupert Lowe, I get that warm fuzzy feeling inside that says, "Don't worry, we've got
yeah,
this."
it
Um,
is. Rupert Law's got this. Trump's got this. Q's got this. You
yeah.
know, Jesus has got this. It's like,
Well,
mate,
Jesus, no. To be fair, no, he's too
mm,
busy being cross. But and yeah, yeah. Best not bring up Julius Caesar at this point.
yeah,
Not very
true
nice.
enough.
It's not a very
But it
nice thing
is.
to
It's
do.
almost like, mate, why are we even trying to give presentations and stuff? Why are we even in the truth movement? The truth is moving on its own accord just because we've manifested it. It's
Well,
because our vibrations are resonating at the right frequency in tune with the human resonance. What
which
can I say?
which which apparently now is exactly 432 hertz. Just
Yeah,
just like the heart chakra resonance, because
precisely.
it's all about love and light and feeling and being
Yeah,
emotional. It's all about attunement and connecting with everybody from that level of knowing, from that level of intuition. Um, I'm just glad that this presentation. I mean, it virtually put itself together. I mean, it was so quick in its coming together that I can only take that as a sign that this is exactly what was meant to happen.
exactly. I mean,
Um,
here's another way to look at it. I mean, God create the universe within 7 days, and within 7 minutes, we've kind of resurrected the truth movement to become on the right path by following their inner knowing. And really, I mean, I almost feel humbled to be a part of this amazing mechanism that's going to save the world from its own inevitable destruction. I don't know about you, Nathan. What do you reckon?
well, I think we should call it the Enlightenment Collective
Wow.
movement. because we're clearly all on the same page. We're resonating with each other. We're all really aligned with the fact that we can now just believe anything we want collectively, and
Yeah,
and be no closer to really achieving anything at all. And that makes me feel sparkly and warm inside. Some people will call it fear.
it's all about the feelings, mate. It's
It is.
nothing else.
It is. Now, okay, I think it's time we moved on
Do you
from
reckon?
made up history because clearly none of us are disingenuous enough to actually be able to do that successfully. So I mean, we should probably have a little chat about active denial.
Wow, yeah. Well, I'm intrigued by this next topic.
Well, I don't know anything about that, so let's move on to undercover robots. Um, uh,
I love it.
well, so the other day, anecdote time. The other day, I went to the Almighty Greg's, and wouldn't you know it, when I was asking for my pasty,
Mm,
the woman behind the counter, she there was a little glint in her eye,
mm,
and she started sort of like how would I say this? I mean, it was just such a surreal experience. She started acting like a robot, like as if it's as if the job that she was working in really didn't give her any sense of purpose in life. And some might say that she was very mechanical in the way that she was serving the customers.
hmm.
And again, that glint in her eye, it might have looked, I think. I mean, robots have got dead eyes. I'm just there doesn't and I see this quite a lot. I see it's almost like we're living amongst uh, AI generated automatons
Mm,
that use their mobile phones as some kind of honing device. I don't know. I can't really. I think it's almost like a battery charger to them. Um,
mhm.
but yeah, but I'm seeing more and more often that these strange experiences of whenever I go out there and people are just always looking quite sad and looking at their phones and just going around in cyberspace on the path, not looking where they're going to work, doing jobs they hate, minimum wage, clearly all about fairness
Mhm.
and equality for all, which is why we needed to bring that in so that people's lives would absolutely improve and not impoverish anybody whatsoever and didn't make us dependent on the state. Um, well, those are two ridiculous anecdotes I've got about undercover robots. I think my theory is that I think 97.67976% of the population are actually now undercover robots.
Wow, Nathan, isn't that the golden ratio?
It's well, so it's funny you should say it's the new golden ratio. It's
Yeah.
it's it's the new attuned golden ratio, so
Wow,
that
this
so
is
that
so far out.
it's
This is so
and this is
trippy.
only because we're ascending to 45D, which soon to be 47D. Let's not forget.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, that's an interesting combination of numbers, incidentally. I mean,
yeah.
4 plus 5 is 9, and 4 plus 7 is 11. 9/11. Wow, wow.
Uh,
Oh, and what was that time that Gordon Ramsay had on his watch? 9/11.
9/11.
Of
It's it,
course,
it.
that's nothing to do with the nine satanic statements and the 11 satanic sins. But of course, you
Oh,
know.
you taught what Steve?
Oh,
Don't
sorry, mate. Was I
you
getting
taught
the
look
vibrations
what
down a little bit?
you're talking about useful information here. Do you mind not like bringing
Oh,
the vibe
sorry,
down?
I
I mean,
was. It's
you,
going to take. It's going to be a setback to that golden age, isn't it?
yeah.
All of this negativity that. But it's ultimately it's because I'm tarnished by demons because I once read a book about the occult. That
Sorry.
makes me, you know,
Yeah.
the demons have just entered my brain.
This is true. Now, just so that the audience is aware, I wasn't laughing with Steve. I was definitely laughing at him when he said that because it was quite hilarious. Um, I wouldn't like to give people the wrong idea. That was hilarious, actually. But um, so. Um, and again, right. So, mate, as this podcast is clearly all about reduced effort and making shit up, not that there's any point to that whatsoever, other than to hopefully demonstrate that things don't necessarily work that way.
Mm,
Before we conclude today's very, very useful, informative episode of top secret information,
mm.
secrets of the universe.
I think this has been our best podcast ever. I mean, the amount of truth bombs we've basically just exploded in the forefront of people's pineal glands has been absolutely staggering.
It's almost like we are bringing the enlightenment to them.
Yeah,
Really, it's in fact, I would say they don't even need to do anything at all if they just leave it to us
yeah.
through the power of positive thought
Oh, yeah, exactly.
and really bright lights. We can change. We. They just need to stand down, mate. Because sometimes they just get in the way, and the glimmer of independent thought. No, no, this is not helpful. Stand down. Leave it to the experts. Steve
Exactly.
and I are experts, apparently, um, in things,
I
top
mean,
secret things.
ultimately, as long as we can persuade enough people, enough of our fellow brethren within the truth and freedom community, not to achieve, not to grow in self-worth, not to achieve self-empowerment, and
Yeah.
not to understand objective morality, and definitely not abide by the principles under natural law, then we have done the truth and freedom community the biggest and single most important discovery that they'll ever achieve is basically forget all of forget all of that stuff. Forget all the stuff that some people would claim to be truth and principle. Forget all of that. Just follow your bliss.
Just especially if they're rumbling, you know,
Mm,
because it's a sign of things to come. Now, one of the things that I would like to bring up is obviously, clear. You've just said that. You've said that, and it might be insinuating that actually there is a secret message that you're trying to convey there, which would be
mm,
ridiculous. But one of the things I say is that it might be other people's faults all the time, and it might be that you're always right all the time. Um, the underlining message to take away from this is that don't have any accountability whatsoever.
mm.
Is because accountability is it's quite a serious thing to be, isn't it? It's I've got responsibilities and I've got an obligation to, I don't know, the health and well-being of others, which I think it just really dampens down people's spirits.
Yeah,
So
you've got to have service to self. Ultimately,
yeah,
just follow your own bliss, service to self.
yes,
Remember,
yep.
that's nothing at all satanic at all.
Nothing at all. No,
This
no,
is
I
this
mean,
is where the falsification of history comes in,
mate,
because once,
self-love. It's all about
yeah,
self-love. It's all
self-love.
about standing strong. Have your best day ever. Live your
Yeah,
best life
exactly.
ever. Yeah. So sorry, I feel my vibration interfered with your vibration there, and I almost knocked you a little bit off course. I'm so sorry. Please continue.
Don't apologize. I mean, ultimately, these none of this matters because the universe doesn't exist, and nothing that we can do can actually affect the universe because I mean, I'd imagine everybody in the truth movement knows what solipsism is all about because they're all massively way beyond the Dunning-Kruger effect. They're so far off the Dunning-Kruger chart that they are just. I mean, is there anyone in the truth community who's not an ascended master? Is anyone not Buddha? I mean, in the truth movement, because that's the impression I get. Everybody is like, I mean, there's God, and then there's the truth movement. So,
That you put you
so the
put
truth
you
movement.
putting God above the truth movement above God, right? Is this
Well,
is this
of course, well, naturally, because the truth movement don't want to appreciate anything that God, who created the universe, has come out with. So they don't want to follow any or abide by any of his laws or decrees. So basically, the truth movement, there's God, sorry, God,
Yeah,
but fuck you. There's the truth movement. So the truth movement, big winner. Well done, truth movement. Sorry,
brilliant.
God, relegated to, made up history.
Well, God failed clearly, where the truth movement has absolutely succeeded in being
Absolutely.
effective, and But so, all right. Oh, so here's the thing, isn't it? We're on about shall we? Hang on, I've got to put a genuine icon on the screen for this one, because I mean, like, well done.
Oh, I thought you meant Julius Caesar. I mean, I was going to say, oh yeah, top dog. Well done, Julius. You managed to get a whole empire under your thumb. Some might call you tyrannical dictator. Hey, the guy was misunderstood. Clearly, he had everyone's best interests at heart, just like all the leaders of today.
Right.
They
I'm
love
gonna
us.
stop. I've got to stop you. I've got to stop you there. Right. So as you know, I am actually I'm fairly well read in like Roman history. I'm not an
Yeah.
expert. Like, people accuse me of saying that I'm an expert. I don't believe I've ever actually done that. But anyway, regardless, it's this is a very misunderstood character through history. So you've just said there, again, quite um, entertainingly, that that he was a tyrant and stuff, and so that this is what the senators who were conspiring against him were basically accusing him of, is that they were
Mm,
trying to say that he wanted to be the king of Rome.
mm,
um, and they wanted to remove him because he had designs on power and tyranny and stuff like that. I mean, tyrant literally just means king in the Greek world. Obviously, it's slightly different in the Latin.
mm,
Um, but from what I've read about Julius Caesar, ironically, this guy um, was genuinely trying to put the needs of the people above the Senate. He was trying to, I mean, he did things like writing off debts, for example. Removing conscription, proscription lists. I'm bloody forgetting the word now.
mhm,
Um, Forgiving people for their, their debts. Some petty crimes were forgiven. Uh, Expanding citizenship throughout the empire. I mean, I can say that because we're making up history. So whether it's right or wrong, it doesn't seem to matter these days because I said a thing. But from what I understand about the guy, he was very hated by the aristocracy because he did resonate with sort of like the plebeian class more than the aristocracy in Rome. And so they saw him as a genuine threat because he was doing
mm,
good. He was trying to make the empire stronger. He was trying to give people more rights and stuff
mm,
like that. So, but anyway, I don't want to say too much because unlike some in the movement, if I want to talk about a historical figure, I want my figures and facts in front of me before I actually
mm,
start saying stuff. But the irony of it is, he actually seemed to be a decent guy, which is what I'm getting at there. So,
mm.
and they killed him for it. They conspired against him and stuck, so was it
Well,
44 daggers on his back or something stupid?
I,
Well, it wasn't just in his back,
it
but
was 23, I believe, on the
was it
Ides of
23?
March.
Oops, my
Yeah, I
bad.
mean, which is quite a significant number. I mean, that's the number that I'm sure that's the number that, in fact, it is because the number
Devil's number.
23 is the number that, in fact, I'd done a presentation on this. I think
You
only
did. You did.
there was only
Yeah.
two. In fact, I remember there was only two or three people turned up. Do you see what I've done there? Two or three.
You're
But
not going to start on a 6-7 thing, right? You're not going to start
six,
6-7 in it.
seven, two, three.
Yeah,
Um,
nobody knows what that means apparently. Everyone's saying it. Nobody has a clue what it means. So we'll do 2-3, 2-3. There you go.
three. But he was stabbed 23 times on the Ides of March. But he clearly, I mean, I'll be quite honest, I didn't know that about Mr. JC. If he was, he kind of appealed to the masses.
Yeah,
He clearly hadn't read the staff handbook, had he? If he was
not
starting to,
really. No.
have a bit of compassion for people, or you know, whether that's the case or not, I mean, it's irrelevant because here on this podcast we can no holds are barred. We've just got to go with the feels, and for me, if I feels that Julius Caesar had a soft touch for the proletariat by trying to appeal to them for whatever means and purposes. Hey, mate, you're supposed to fuck them over. Didn't you read that in the staff handbook? It was
Well,
on some papyrus chart.
What you mean? What you mean? The politicians and statism handbook, where you've got to be as corrupt and greedy as possible, do everything in your own self-interest, and tax people into oblivion whilst removing their rights, freedoms, and well, I'm going to say
Yeah,
civil liberties, but just kind of have there with yeah. Clearly, he didn't get the memo. I mean,
clearly.
what was he thinking? Um, and as for reducing tax rates and forgiving debt, what a dumbass! Why would he do that?
I know,
Although some
how
people.
ridiculous.
Well, some people would say there shouldn't be a tax system at all, but I guess that that
Oh,
ship
I
has
know, but
probably
criminal
sailed.
gangs would take over. Imagine that. If we didn't have, if we weren't taxed to fuck and we didn't
Mm.
have, like, we weren't bullied into submission, criminal gangs would screw us over. They would deceive us and try to manipulate us. And they'd try to, you know, coerce us out of our money by
Mm.
using the threat of force.
I'm gonna turn that off a second. Can you still see me all right with that? Because bloody blinding
Yeah,
me.
I
It's
can, mate.
obviously the light has become so strong in my spiritual journey. I've had to turn it off because it's blinding me. There you go. The light is so strong.
Oh, wow.
Um,
That's so profound. Oh, can you see?
it's just
My
mind
head
blowing, mate.
exploded there.
I feel right now that my pineal gland is pulsating through my very core, and it's
Man, I can see the glow. It's
well,
it's like there's a glow just, behind my hand where your pineal glands just emanating through my soul.
I just feel that that is the energy of the universe flowing through your camera into my screen, and I'm very
Wow.
it feels very nice and warm and
Just when you
fuzzy.
mentioned that, there was like an instant download from the Akashic records
Yeah.
that just filled my entire mind with the whole sequence of the universe, and it basically just appealed to me to trust the plan. And for
Well,
some reason,
clearly.
in the background, there was the number 17. I don't know what it was, but the number 17 just kept. It's like 17,
Hey, it's a
17, 17.
mystery, isn't it?
Wow,
It is in fact a mystery, and this is what we've got to realize is that some things in life are just not meant to be looked into, analyzed, investigated. Some things are
absolutely.
just best being a mystery that you can philosophize over. Some would
Yeah,
say theorize over and jump to random conclusions and then sell it as the truth. But
yeah, I agree.
there is that. Right. I don't know about you, mate. I quite enjoyed this. I think it's been quite the experience in the world of truth of podcast. But the thing is, right? So I know that we've just done a massive. And by the way, that was brilliant. Yeah, I feel almost as if I need acting lessons to keep up with now. It just kind of flowed this like, you
It's
know.
been nice. I feel a little bit happier as a result. I'll be quite honest. So I get it.
I mean, this is the thing, though. I mean, to be fair, a lot of us are bogged down in this like doom scrolling environment. Whereas, and I've seen this in so many people, which is like, I'm so depressed. I'm just going to get my phone to find out what else I can get, really
Mm,
anxious about. Oh my God, they're going to do that. Oh no, they're going to do. Oh, they've done it because I didn't do anything about it. Shit. And it's that, and it's like, oh, the sheeple are not doing anything about it. Well, no, neither are you. Just sat there doom scrolling and make yourself depressed all the time. Well, has it occurred to you to, I don't know, get off your ass and do something, and oh yeah, but I'm not capable of doing that, or I don't like being on camera. What? So
mm,
you've got no other skill set whatsoever. You have absolutely no ability to take what you have got available to you, what you do know, and just put it to good use somewhere so that people can benefit from that in whatever way, shape, or form it is. Oh, we haven't got the money. No shit, Sherlock. Neither have I. Neither has half the population these days because
mm.
we're all getting fleeced by the government. It's a bit of a buzzkill, that isn't it?
Do
So
you know what, Nathan? I hate to say it, but in the last minute, you've just basically spilled the entire secrets of the cosmos. I
shit.
mean, to put it
Oh,
bluntly, you said, get off your ass and do something.
mm.
I mean, in essence,
Negativity, man.
that is how you save the world. You get off your ass and you actually do something. You don't do something in fucking dreamland like a lot of people are, as we've kind of tried to expose in the last couple of hours. It's actually about doing something that has some sort of purpose and value,
Right.
something physical. Mate, I love it. You've blown my mind.
So I've blown your mind in the realm of the 45th and 7th dimension. Um, and finally, the secrets of the universe, as you rightly say, from the download from the Akashic realm, where the records have been provided to us freely, even though we can't actually really rummage through it and pick out anything that's useful to us, or prove it even. I suppose this is in response to the other day when I said, "Do you fancy doing a podcast?" Because I've been absolutely flooded. I've just not got the time, mate. Which is so if anyone's watching, it's not that we've stopped doing. I'm not even it's not that at all. There's a lot more coming. Well, hopefully, I'm saying that. I'm looking at you. So there is a lot more coming, right, Steve? I mean,
Oh, happy days, yeah. I've
um,
been itching to get stuff off my chest.
oh
So
God,
yeah, I'm happy to
yeah.
do the likes of this, which is a little bit different to our usual sort of you know, having a giving people a hard time sometimes. But I'd like to think this has been a little bit more entertaining.
Well, I mean that was the whole purpose. Well, okay, dual purpose. Number one, I think we just needed a bit of a silly, a little bit of a giggle or whatever
Yeah,
just a bit of
exactly.
something daft. But equally, the when you said the other day, it's like, can I start berating the truthers again? I'm like, fucking hell, mate, you never stopped, did you? But I thought equally, I'm sat there, right? So right, I where do I go with this? I'm gonna bring the vibe down now, mate. I'm gonna really go heavy on this stuff. Um, I I've been talking, in fact, today I've been talking to my mate Wayne, who is probably one of the very few people that I've come across in recent years who isn't psyoped into oblivion. He hasn't
Mm.
fallen for any of it. And even then, I mean, even he said to me today that even in the beginning of this, he kind of looked into things like QAnon, kind of looked into it, and he was like, yeah, okay, I'll look into the videos. I'll look at the Q drops, the example he gave was, one of these press conferences with Trump, and he's like, "Well, it's not going to happen, but I'm just going to sit and wait just to make sure it doesn't happen. It's going to
Hmm.
happen. No, it's not going to happen. Oh, it didn't happen, right?" And it's that, and it's so I like the fact that he can turn around and say, "Well, I looked into it. I considered it as an option. It was a bit wishful thinking. It was a bit."
Yeah,
I considered it. I mean, I looked into it. To be fair, that's one of the ones that I didn't fall into. Um, but but equally, I like people who've got the integrity to say, well, yeah, I was a bit fooled because I can trust those people more than I can trust people who say, well, I never get it wrong. I'm right. And there's so many of them now in this arena. Again, I don't want to call it the truth movement because it neither deals with the truth and it's not moving. I mean, it's really
yeah,
not moving. It's gone stagnant. And if the so-called truth movement is moving, it's only because everyone's running around in circles like headless fucking chicken, all claiming to know that they've got the answers and they've got the right information. It's like they don't. They really don't.
yeah.
And so I thought I'd do it from a different angle. We'll be a bit silly. We'll be a bit sarcastic with it. But equally, the point being is, and I'll probably get accused of blowing my own trumpet again here. Behind me, I've got a bookshelf full of books. Now, I've not read all of them, but I've read a fair amount of them. I'm familiar with a lot of the stuff that's in there. I've taken the time to sit down and read through it, as have you. I've seen your books, mate. In fact, I'm jealous of your collection. You've got more stuff on the occult and the esoteric stuff than I have, and you've got some really good stuff in there. But it's it's okay watching a podcast. It's okay listening to people that you like because you agree with them because they've got charisma or because
Yeah.
they're looking at the subjects that you're interested in. That's fine. I've got no problem with that. I've done the same myself. But there's a level of um rationality that's got to kick in at some point. It's like, well, you've got to start questioning, is what you're being told true? Can it be backed up with evidence and fact? And again, we've had people say to us on our group, I would say groups, I think many groups, because like social groups as well as online groups and things like
Hmm.
that. Oh well, you're not fully enlightened because you want things to be backed up with fact and evidence and statistics and proof and archaeology and things like that. It's like, yes, because that's how objective reality works. It leaves a bloody record behind. And for somebody to come and say that that's not important because they've got intuition, and intuition is in a knowing, it's like, well, yeah, but you're missing a vital part of that. I don't dismiss intuition, right? I don't dismiss that that's a valid point. However, intuition is built up through experience. It's not something that you're born with. It's not something that you just switch on one day and you know the secrets of the universe. Because if it was that easy, then we wouldn't be in this mess to start with. Plus, again, we'd be able to prove, we would be literally able to back that with evidence through our actions. We'd be able to change things. Um, and the more that I look at, and again, I really, really don't like the name, the title, the Truth Movement. I really don't. I know it sounds pedantic, but they're not dealing in truth anymore. And there's a difference. When we did that previous episode about the old guard, Steve,
Yeah,
the reason that we did that is because the people that were featured during that particular presentation are the ones that did go out and do the research, the ones that are active, the ones that are looking at the evidence, the ones that are trying to back it up. People say, "Oh, well, David Icke makes claims all the time, and he's a conspiracy theorist." Okay, that may be so, but at least he's got the honesty and the integrity to say that if this is a theory, it's a theory. That's his theory.
yeah,
It might be wrong, but equally that's his theory. I've got no problem with that because it's an honest approach. It's effectively saying, well, I believe a thing, but I might be wrong. Okay, that's fine. It's when people are now taking their own personal beliefs, their own personal philosophies, and just without any critical thought whatsoever, they're just pushing it out there as if it's the truth.
yeah,
Um, and it just doesn't work that way. And so you've rightly just said there about 10 minutes ago about the Dunning-Kruger effect. Brilliant, absolutely on point. For anyone who's not familiar with the Dunning-Kruger effect, in simple terms, it's where your level of confidence far exceeds your actual level of expertise, knowledge, or experience in any given field. So you think you know, or you think you're far better at something than you actually are by a long shot, and that's reinforced by a sense of ego or arrogance, And what usually happens is at the point in which you are challenged on that information or that skill set and you fail, inevitably you fail, and then you drop straight back down, your confidence plummets. And that then creates a growth spurt within your mind. So that when you mention shadow work, mate, that's where it gets triggered. It's that level of um failure, if you want to call it. I think failure can be very productive, actually. I think failure's often got a bad rap because it's one of the best ways to learn is to fail at
yeah.
something and do it the hard way because you can't always, in fact, I would say you can rarely do things the easy way first time round. It doesn't, unless you are genuinely gifted in certain things, it just doesn't work that way. But I'm sorry, I'm going to stop ranting so you can come back to me in a minute. But there is a certain individual at the minute which and again, I'm not going to mention his name, but he is in the public arena at the minute, especially within the conspiracy circles,
Yeah.
who was just talking bollocks. And he's doing it with a really high level of confidence. He's stating this stuff as if it's absolute fact, as if it's hidden truths and hidden histories and that he's uncovering real secrets. And the problem with that is I do know my history a bit. I'm not an expert in history. I'm not an academic. I don't hold any qualifications in history, but I have read a fair bit, and I do like it. It's an interest area of mine,
Hmm.
and I know that history leaves a record, right? You can't just make this up. You cannot get a small group of people to wipe 1,000 years of history and then make up a whole new narrative. That would take a ridiculous amount of planning, a ridiculous amount of cover-ups. I mean, it would be an operation that far exceeded any rationality whatsoever. I mean, there are better ways of deceiving people, right? I mean, they've done it, I would say. And so for somebody to come out and say that, again, I'm going to try and be nice at the minute because I want to, when I do come out and when I do challenge this individual, and I will be challenging this individual, I want my facts there, right? But what I'm saying is
Is
history
this
leaves a
somebody
record.
well known? Is this somebody
Yeah,
well known?
somebody that's currently
Right.
quite in the spotlight, and again,
Okay.
I have got a lot of problems with what this individual's saying, with where this individual's getting their information from.
Hmm.
I've got a massive issue with the level of confidence in which they're saying it. Um, it's fraud. It's fraud.
Yeah.
And I really think that people now need to ramp up their discernment levels to really, really start questioning not just the individuals in question that are pushing out these narratives and these fraudulent claims,
Yeah.
but I really think that it's time that people started looking in at their own thoughts and started saying, well, okay, I know this sounds good, it sounds interesting, it sounds exciting, but is there really any proof to it? Is there any validation to it? Can I look at any records? Can I look? Is there a paper trail? Is there a records trail? Is there like statements from people written down in it? It's things like this. And again, it always leaves a record behind.
Mhm.
And it's not just this. Oh crap, I've done it again. Look, put Ramsey on. Just do as you're told. Right, there you go. Ramsey's back on. Um, just in here. The right, so again, I know this sounds like a shameless plug, but I'm going to show people, not that you could see it, right? So everything in this was to basically point out that the fake awake are the ones that are the people that think they are awake, that think they have got the answers, that think they know all the truths, but they've not really done the research, the investigations, the
Yeah.
thinking. Sometimes a lot of the claims, a lot of these psyops can be dismantled simply by sitting down and going, that doesn't really make sense. Because if it did make sense, then that and that and that would be a thing, and then that would be the result of that thing, and then that would have the cause and effect, consequentialism, right? Going back to actual hermetic philosophies and an actual occult area of
Mm.
uh research that actually can help, things like that. But anyway, right, I'm going to shut up because I'd like you to add
Well,
something to that.
well, before you shut up, is it worth enlarging the screen so where we
Yeah, yeah,
become
yeah, 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 I
bigger
can
than
do that.
Gordon Ramsay, and then put that book on again,
There you
mate.
go.
Plug
Right.
that book because I'll be quite honest. Even though I've written a chapter in that, and you're my mate, and you've written that book, that to me is one of the. I mean, that is one of the four things that I recommend to truthers the world over at every level, no matter how enlightened a person is. There's very, very few books that I'm familiar with that actually kind of discuss or disclose elements of the laws of creation, natural law,
Mm.
to the level that you've put in that. I don't know of any personally. I mean, I could say that Lysander Spooner, who died many, many years ago,
Mm.
was an advocate of natural law. So I mean, this isn't a new thing. We're not just, you know, we're not making something up, and this isn't a new discovery. This is ancient. This is as old as creation itself.
Yeah.
But very, very few people in the annals of time have actually disclosed what this actually means and how it works, how it how it
Yeah.
can create a better world for people. I mean, Lysander Spooner is one such individual who actually did write something along, and I mean I can't quote the treatise or document or book that he actually wrote about, but he spoke about natural law
Mm.
in written form. I know of nobody in recent years. I mean, there might well be, but I know of nobody in recent years.
Yeah.
The other books or the other avenues of work that and I'm sure you're the same. You advocate for similar, if not the same things. I advocate for The End of All Evil by Jeremy Locke, who didn't
Yeah.
write about natural law, but obviously understood the principles and advocated for the qualities that kind of represents, i.e., the end of all evil is having a really
Mm.
deeper understanding of what evil is in all of its forms and trying to overcome it by
Yeah.
having a value of your own self-worth. And that's kind of the takeaway from his very, very short book, which was called The End of All Evil. I, to be quite honest, Jeremy Locke, I don't think anybody actually knows who this person is. He's
Oh,
he's
that's
almost like,
intriguing. Okay, I mean, you got me with that one.
oh,
All right.
massively. He's like, nobody knows who Jeremy Locke is. Is it a pseudonym? Is it, who is
Mm.
this person? But I'll be quite honest, even before I understood natural law, and I was lucky enough to read The End of All Evil, which is I'm sure it's like 97 pages long. It's very
Yeah.
short, but it blew my mind I didn't know what natural law is when I read the book. It blew my mind because it turned the world that I understood upon its head. And but by the way, I mean I know you know this, Nathan, but for some of the viewers, I worked for the government. I was a murderer for money for the government. I was a soul dead individual. This book blew my mind to the point where it probably didn't, on day one, I didn't then like resign, but eventually I did, realizing that I was actually the bad guy. I didn't realize this
Yeah.
until that book sunk in and I assimilated the value of what it represented. But another such thing, again, it doesn't necessarily go into natural law, but it is of a similar ilk, and that is the most dangerous superstition by Locke and Rose. And Locke and Rose, I would consider to be one of the utmost philosophers of the modern generation
Yeah,
who
I agree with
fully
that. I fully agree with
understands.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean the book. I actually I've got two copies of the Most Dangerous Superstition. I would quite happily, if anyone is interested in having a copy of that, I will give it away. I've got two copies of that book. I will give it away to anybody who's interested because that is one of the most important books I believe that anybody could ever read. It's relatively short. It's a little bit shorter than ours, I believe. Probably
I
less than
don't know. I
300
mean, to be
pages.
fair, the bit that I read with you on the aeroplane was it was quite in depth. I mean, yeah, okay, it's small in volume, but the amount of
Mm.
information in there, the amount of relevant information in there,
Yeah, it's
I
quality
don't. Yeah, it is
information, isn't
absolutely quality. Yeah.
it? The third piece of work I advocate for is not actually a book. Um, if it was a book, it would probably be massive. It's the Natural Law Seminar by Mark Passio. I mean, both you and I are big advocates of Mark Passio's
Yeah.
work. I mean, personally, I find his delivery style to be right up my street because I'm a former soldier. So for me, nothing really, you know, I can listen to any degree of hardcore information without having a big, I'm not going to be massively buttered by anything that somebody says. Just doesn't, but sometimes I think that actually works for me because I need hardcore information.
Well,
Some people can't
that.
tolerate that.
Well, no, I want to comment here because I
Mm,
hear a lot of people. In fact, there was somebody in our group earlier that said that they didn't think it was that they didn't like his delivery style because he was angry and ranty. And to be fair, I get that because
mm,
and which is why I gave this individual a thumbs up because I know where they're coming from, and yes, it will be a lot more helpful if Mark would deliver this from a non-aggressive position like he did with his seminars, but equally just to balance it out. And I'm genuinely not having to go at anyone here because I hear a lot of people say the same thing. Yes, that would be probably a lot more productive. It'd be a lot more helpful. But then he's been doing this for what, 10 years prior
Oh
to
no,
COVID or something like that.
probably
And
closer to 20 years.
do you reckon?
Oh yeah, 20, it'll be
Hmm.
about 20 years now. He's been his what on earth is happening? Um channel has been up and running.
Yeah, so well yeah yeah it must be because I first came across someone else. I'm going to say the number 33, which but I was 33-year old when I first came into contact with him. Well,
Mm,
his material online, but I noticed that a lot of the time it's women that can't stand his approach, his
yeah,
style. They
yeah.
say that his voice is irritating, his voice is too coarse, and he's now I really I could listen to the guy. I'm not going to say endlessly. That'd be ridiculous. I mean, you'd get bored in the end if it was the same person all the time. But I can take one of his 8 hour seminars and hammer through it in 2 days. Right, just split into two segments and then hammer through it, and then I'll go back to it again 6 months later because there's so much in there,
Yeah.
and he gets it across with such force. Right, I mean, he's got a conviction that you barely see these days, and so okay, this is potentially one of those moments where we say that look, a lot of people say it's not about the individual, it's about the information, but then they dismiss the individual.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, to me, it would be ideal if Mark would write a book. And I think he did say it was in a seminar a couple of years back that he was working on it, but
Mm,
I don't know whether he still is or whether it was whether that was something that he's since rethought. But equally, part of the reason for me writing is because I thought, well, if he hasn't put it in a book, this is information that needs to go in between two covers, right? And so if he's not done it, somebody needs to. Which
yeah.
is what I've attempted to do. So as I mentioned earlier, I am in the middle of a re-edit of Fake Awake. I think you'll enjoy this one because you've sent me another chapter, another massive chapter, and it's brilliant. And I love the way you've inverted stuff in there and like
All right,
the
thanks, mate.
well no it was brilliant. So but equally so that's going to really pad out one of the books within the new sort of
Mm,
well the restructure of that. So I'm going to split it into several books. You don't have to buy the first book to get the second book. You can read it in any order. There's it's the information that's in there, but it's going to have a massive focus on natural law. It's going to have a massive focus on critical thinking. It's going to have a massive focus on dismantling the psyops to show people how it works and how to avoid it, and just the I guess the what am I looking for here? What's the word I'm looking for? Just the things to look out for. The how to identify them, and
yeah,
say, well, hang on a minute, this doesn't seem right. How can I check this out? Things like that, because this is important information. And again, like if we look at things like United Nations Agenda 2030, which is currently being rolled out at bullet speed, it's not stopping, and because it's not stopping, we're not being very effective. So then
mhm,
we collectively need to then take what we know, not what we think we know, not what we believe, not our opinions. No, we need to take what we know, which is that we are in a system that is corrupt and evil. It's conspiratorial in its very nature. Its very organization is secretive and manipulative. It's using technology to drive forward its agenda and disempower people. It's limiting our rights and freedoms. So whether you're a conspiracy theorist or not, and I'm again genuinely like not taking a mick, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I would have been if you'd have asked me this
yeah,
even 5, 6 years ago, I would have said yes, I'm a conspiracy theorist.
yeah,
Um, but you look into this a bit more in depth, and you can clearly see that there are conspiracy theories,
yeah.
which to me are just fanciful topics of discussion. They're interesting. Some of them are interesting, but unless you can provide hard proof evidence or just back it up in some way, prove it to me, because otherwise
Well,
it's just a theory, you
well,
know?
I mean, I would add to that by saying what we kind of consider as conspiracy theories are all relevant, but really what it does, I mean, if you were to boil it down to its kind of, it's lowest common denominator. Well, what is it revealing? It's revealing a pattern. It's revealing a pattern that is evident in nature. And if we understand patterns, and bearing in mind the measure of intelligence is the ability to perceive patterns, if we can see patterns, when let's face it, if we, the truth movement as a collective are starting to see these patterns because
Mhm.
they are understanding there's strange connections between
Yeah.
Freemasons and certain occult
Which, to be
numbers and
fair, there is a lot of that. Sorry to cut you off, but there is a lot of that. They are picking up on a lot of it. There is there
yeah.
is a general awakening within society. They can
Mhm.
clearly see something's not right. It's not what they've been told. They know the mainstream has an agenda. If they haven't figured that out by now, I don't know what to say. But anyway, so getting back to
Well,
the
yeah, I
pattern
mean,
recognition. Yeah.
brilliantly put. What we're basically seeing was we're revealing patterns and we're starting to
Mhm.
comprehend there's an underlying, let's see, a nature within nature which is it's revealing these patterns. Well, what does it allude to? Well, ultimately, it alludes to what we know, you and I know, Nathan, is the causal factor, the causal factor behind many of the problems that, in fact, I say many of the problems, all of the problems that
Mm.
we encounter in the world are down to immorality. And again, to a lot of people, this will not make any sense. Immorality, this is what's driving nature. Behavior drives nature. Well, I said drives nature, drives the conditions or the effects that we perceive in nature that we starting to see patterns emerging because of the immorality that we are injecting. excuse me, into nature through our actions. Our combined actions are causing these effects, which are
Yeah, exactly.
detrimental to our experience. Therefore, these patterns are designed to spur us into action. And if we're not taking appropriate action, something in the occult realm known as right action,
Mhm.
so right thoughts, right emotions, right actions, the
Yeah.
threefold nature of man, and again this threefold nature is massive in occult terms.
Yeah.
Just look at the trivium, for example, which I'm sure some people in the truth movement may have heard of, but I can guarantee not many people, if we were being honest with ourselves, actually
Mm.
fully appreciate or understand it, which is to our own detriment. But if we did,
Massively.
we can change the course of the way that these patterns are emerging, because we could actually influence the world, and we can influence reality to shape it
Yeah.
toward a better destiny. And
Well,
this is all down to our own behaviors, and we have to do this as a collective.
right. So right. Two things there. Can you remind me to come back to collectivism? Because
Mm,
this is another thing that people misquote us on. This is what they misrepresent our words. Um, but the other thing is, I know that we were talking about, we were mocking manifestation, but there is a version of manifestation that is real and genuine and an actual fact. It's not the light and fluffy version that the New Age has sold them. So
yeah,
I've recently been challenged by Bowler Hat Farmer. So Mark Byford.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I I've been challenged by him to read the book The Secret by Rhonda Byrne before I do another podcast with him. And I thought,
All
okay,
right.
I'll take the challenge because it's all about manifestation. It's all about the love and light and shite. Um, and I said, right, okay. I said, I will, I'm happy to challenge this. I said, I've challenged it once before, but I'll challenge it again. Anyway, I did. So Holly bought a copy of The Secret on an audio book. And honestly, it is every bit as bad as I expected it would be. It is
Mhm.
it's pure, just cherry
Is it
picking.
is it New Age plant?
Jesus, I'm not being funny, mate. It's worse. How this thing is a bestseller just is absolute proof that
I think
psyops are
I've heard of it. I'm not sure if it's the
God.
same book I'm thinking of, but it sounds
Yeah,
to be a bit of a
I'm
new
just
agey
right.
type book.
Right, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Right, I've got it. If anyone can get a copy of The Secret for cheap or free, I really wouldn't advocate buying this bloody thing. I really wouldn't.
Can I just quickly ask? It's not called is it called the Secret, or is it the Secret Covenant or something?
No, it's called The Secret, but they've done
Right.
like they've done sequels to it. One's called The Power, the other one. So the one I've got
Okay.
one behind me that was gifted to me by a friend a couple of years back,
Yeah.
and it's called The Greatest Secret. So I suspect it's more like it's an updated version of The Secret.
Mm.
But right. So my point being is that in this book, The Secret, it's all about the love and light fluffy version of manifestation. Basically, you don't need to do any hard work. That's too much responsibility. That's too much negativity. It's all about the like attracts like and the power of
Yeah.
the law of attraction and things like that. And it's like it really is that bad, right? And
Mm.
so it really is. And so for anybody who's inclined to challenge their I don't know, competence level, go and pick a copy of this up, but I really suggest you don't pay full price for it. Anyway, that aside, now the ironic part is, um, so Holly said to me one night, she said, "Well, I'm going to put, it's on YouTube as well. They've done a documentary on YouTube. I'm going to put that on while we fall asleep." And I was just like, "No, I'm not watching that." I said, "If you put that on," I said I'm taking some kind of sleeping pill. So I said, "I'm just going to knock myself out." Anyway, ironically, the documentary on YouTube, because she quotes in her book, she's quoting all of these different, masters and philosophers and the famous people throughout history that are now the secret. But it's really, really irks me to say this, but the documentary is quite good because it goes into genuine natural law. And it
Okay.
mentions the fact that you do need to take action. The people that she's cherry picking from in her book, their actual quotes, their actual work very much goes into, yeah, you've got to put the effort in, you've got to put the time in, you've got to put the willpower in, it doesn't
Mhm.
just come to you through wishful thinking and like attracts like and all of that shit. Yes, it does. If you're interested in something, then yes, you're drawn to it. And if somebody else shares an interest with you, you're drawn to them because eventually there's a likelihood you're going to come together through a common interest, right? So that's not too much of a random claim. Yeah, okay. So from that perspective, yes, it does work. Manifestation does work, but it's not a case of wishful thinking, happy thoughts, positivity, high vibration, all of that. So I'm not saying don't be high vibration. A higher level of consciousness is definitely recommended. I think it's much better to have a positive. But I'm gonna defer to your words, a battle winning mindset, because I think you covered
Hmm.
it brilliantly just in that episode that covers the battle winning mindset. All of the things in that mindset are exactly the things that is advocating for, right? All of the things that are in there, and so yes, manifestation does work, but not from the new age perspective, right? There's a
Yeah.
lot more to it. Right. Secondly, sorry, I'm gonna call it now because I know it's getting a bit late. So the other thing is collectivism. You and I have said many times, we've said it to people in presentations, we've said it in our social circles, we've said it in our occult academy group. I think we've even said it on this podcast a few times as well, that we need to unite. And what I didn't expect, so ironically, is for people to come back and say, well, you're advocating for collectivism. And I'm like, no, we're not advocating for collectivism.
Hmm.
I'm not saying we should all be aligned on the same things, on the same beliefs, on the same interests. And we should, no, absolutely not. From that level, we're all unique individuals. And that's a good thing. That is I'm not, I certainly don't advocate for us all being of the same mind and the same behavior. That's communism. That's what we're trying to, uh, uh, you know,
We're trying to dispose
expose. Yeah,
communism.
I was going to
Yeah.
say I'm looking for the right word, but we are trying to basically explain how it works and expose it because it's a very dangerous mindset. It's a very dangerous trap, and it
Yeah.
always leads to bloodshed. And it's not just a few people getting killed; it is mass genocide that comes
Yeah.
with
Massively. Yeah.
communists. I'm not, look at China, look at Russia, like so not Tsarist Russia, Bolshevik Russia. The
Hmm.
Russian Revolution, things like that. That got rid of the ruling families and the aristocracy in the old system. I mean, look, basically, Operation Trust, i.e., trust the plan with the white hats, the white army. It's all based
Hmm.
on that. It's all based on the Soviet takeover. And as Lenin said, if you want to, if you, hang on, I've got this quote somewhere. I wrote this down, and I can't find it. It's over there somewhere. But basically, if you want to, something along the lines, if you want to rule, if you want to take over the opposition, you lead it, right? And that's what they're doing here. They're putting people, um, claiming to have the answers into positions of popular opinion where they can sell their ideas and so on, and they can make it sound good, and they're selling it to people and people are buying it. They're basically
Yeah.
they're
Massively.
providing the opposition with their own downfall effectively.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying, and you're not saying that we should be uniting as a collective, uh, in terms of we should all be robotic and the same mind. No, we're saying that there is a problem here, and the problem is slavery, which is that they are. If somebody takes away your rights and your liberties and your freedoms, somebody censors you, somebody tells you that your travel is restricted, that you can't go places, that if you're going to be, you're in a financial stranglehold. That is slavery. It takes many forms. It can be technocratic slavery, it can be financial slavery, it can be religious slavery. You give your mind over to a religion, that's slavery. And whether you like it or not, again, look, I'm not having a dig at religion. I attend a church for God's sake. I'm
Hmm.
not anti-God. I'm anti I'm anti psyop, if you like. I
Yeah.
don't like the
Anti-mind
systems of
control.
control. Right. And that's what it is. It's mind control over and over. In fact, I would say it's mind control and behavior control.
Hmm.
We have a common enemy. We've got a common purpose here. Our common enemy is slavery. Whether you want to look at that as technocratic slavery or whatever, this is our common enemy, right? Which leads to a complete withdrawal of rights and freedoms. Um, our common purpose, therefore, is freedom, right? So the thing that I'm saying, and you have said that we should be uniting behind, is freedom,
Yeah.
right? Which is I want the ability to speak my mind without fear of persecution. I want to be able to travel where I want to without fear of being imprisoned or without, I don't want to be restricted from certain areas of the planet just because somebody claims ownership of that particular part of land or whatever.
Hmm.
I want to be able to be free, have full bodily autonomy. Nobody has the right to tell you what you should do with your body, as long
Yeah,
as you're not committing any act of harm against another person. What right does anyone else have to claim ownership over
precisely.
your bodily actions and your decisions and your speech? Free speech is freedom. Free movement is freedom. Freedom of expression is freedom. I don't care where you're from in the world. I don't care what you identify as long as you're not causing harm to another human being, get on with it. That's freedom.
Yeah,
And they're removing this from us by the day. And I mean, in the UK, in fact, it's all over. People say, "Oh, the UK's got it bad." Yes, it does, but then so does Australia, so does America in certain parts. People think that they can run away to Mexico and things like this and escape. No, they can't. It's there too. It's in Europe too. It's in
yeah.
Sweden just as much as it's in Italy, just as
Effectively, you
much as it
can
is.
run,
Yeah,
but you can't hide. There's no
right.
safe haven. Even though, even and I
Yeah,
mean, I'm not going to knock people who, for example, who are living off grid. I mean, fair enough. I mean, I don't blame a lot of people for that. But
if that's
living
a
off
life
grid,
choice,
yeah,
no problem.
if it's
But
running away from the problems,
right.
then really, are we facing just, is this just an immature action because we're looking to face up to the responsibility for trying to change the way of the world and to help other people who are members of our own community? I mean, I'm not saying this is shameful, but I'm saying a lot of people are actually running away from the problem. This isn't going to address the issue, and eventually you can run, but you can't hide.
Exactly that. And people think that running away to another country is the answer, or oh well, it's a little bit more free over there, or they're not as aggressive or
Mhm.
suppressive or oppressive. You take any word you want to. No, it might not be yet, but this is a global operation, and this is where I do get into conspiratorial mode, because there is a global agenda at play. Now, whether you want to acknowledge that or not, that's entirely up to you. But if you look into it deeply enough, follow the money, if you like, follow the agendas, follow the common patterns. Again, look at the pattern recognition between what are all the governments pushing, what are all the governments around the world aligned on, because that's the bits that concern me. Since when are all the governments that are always at war with each other suddenly aligned with
It's funny
agendas and
that, isn't it?
policies?
Yeah.
It's crazy to me. So when it comes to stuff like that, there is absolutely a conspiratorial operation in motion, absolutely. But that doesn't mean that everything alternative is therefore the truth and everything mainstream is a lie. It's not that clear cut. I mean, it just doesn't work that way. Number one, it wouldn't make any sense. Anyway, so what we're advocating for then is freedom, and so as not to sound like a broken record. And again, we've dug into it a lot tonight already anyway, but the only way really to get true freedom is through morality, which is to have basic principles, which is to stand in your sovereignty and be autonomous and independent, have freedom of thought, know how to think properly, know how to think correctly, know how to think
Yeah.
rationally and logically. Use the trivium method. It's there for a reason. The reason the Romans used it, in fact, Julius Caesar, ironically, was one of the guys that was very well versed in a trivium. You know, um, you couldn't get any position of authority within Rome unless you were well versed in a trivium, which is why it was such a stratified society, if that's the right word. It's late, but but equally, get your mind right, right? Which is what we've said over and over again. Get your mind
Hmm.
right. Learn how to think critically, and by thinking critically, it means be able to look at your own thoughts and actions and criticize them. Do the shadow work. You've got. Oh, you need to promote your YouTube channel. Before we cut off here, you've got a
All
YouTube
right.
channel.
Yeah.
Just
Cheers, mate.
promote that.
Thanks.
But it is essentially looking at your own psyche. It's looking at your own thoughts. It's looking at your own behaviors and actions through history and saying, right, I have a problem here. This isn't ideal. I can fix this. I can improve upon it. And if anyone thinks that they can't improve upon themselves, uh, why? Everyone can improve themselves.
Yeah.
But right. So going back to this is that if you start actually displaying signs of sovereignty and independence of thought and critical self-awareness, even changing your perceptions, not just this idea that everything is subjective and everyone has a different perception. No, you're living in a shared reality. It doesn't. Again, yeah, you might see things differently, but the rules are the same, and the rules that affect Bob over there, it's the same rules that's going to affect Richard over there. It's the same set of rules. It's the same organizational structure that we're all bound by, and we're all collectively here together, right? So unless we all take action and do the right thing, which means to improve our behavior, to improve our moral standards, to actually have principles, and to not give our thoughts away to institutions, to not give our freedoms away to politicians, to not get all of this shit. And this is why I keep saying it's about unification. I don't expect everyone to be on the same page with their thoughts, opinions, beliefs, hobbies, etc. I do expect them to stand firm against slavery. And this again, so many people are happy to take what we say way out of context. It's not just us. It's not just
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
not just the two of us. People, like, there's a lot of people that have come and gone in the last couple of years where they've said something and they've been taken out of context, and all of a sudden they've been demonized. And like Mark Passio, rightly, they get frustrated and they say, "Well, okay, I can't help you lot. Fuck you. I'm done.
Hmm.
Come back to me when you're ready. When you're ready
Yeah.
to listen. Then I'm ready to show you how it's done. But until that point, fuck off." I'm not quite ready to dismiss everyone in that category. I understand the
Yeah.
frustrations. My God, I really do. But the one
Mhm.
thing I am now dissociating from is this idea of conspiracy theorists. I think the irony of it is the mainstream has for so long claimed that we are extremists, that we are fringe, that we are far right, that we are far this, that, and the other, right? That we are unhinged. And unfortunately, in the last 6 years, I would say, I mean, it goes back. It's further back than that. In 2017, gee, I wonder what that number's familiar with. But there's that many psyops now that it has put people in a fringe mentality. It has put them in an
Yeah,
extreme
yeah,
mentality.
without a doubt.
We like you take the freedom movement, and again, I'm not going to mention names with this one, but there's xenophobia there. There's racism there. There's identity labels being applied left, right, and center. There is the us versus them mentality. That's not helpful to anyone. I
Hmm.
mean, it's really not. I mean, I know, we're sat here criticizing the movement, but there is no movement. This is the problem. Um, anyway,
Well,
we can
but
go
you
into
know
this a
what?
lot more,
Yeah.
but it's
I mean, I'm going to elaborate just slightly on some of the
yeah,
things that you're pointing out there, because I mean, again, for the benefit of people who don't know my background, but basically, I spent pretty much my entire adult life in the military, working for the side of history that I completely destroy now as being an evil entity. So I am completely and utterly anti-government, even though at one stage I worked for them. And I mean, in a sense, I'm given what I would class to be what do you call it? Insider knowledge of how warfare works.
yeah.
So if we are at war, and I mean I can qualify this, we are in a cognitive war. So the people in average society, whether they know it or not, are members or combatants, whether they know it or not, as members of a cognitive warfare operation, which is ongoing. It's been ongoing for many, many years.
Yeah.
It's psychological war. It's information war. It's cognitive warfare combined, and all of these things are designed to thwart us as regular citizens, as normal, average human beings, members of society, to become enslaved, to become the battery power behind the mechanism of the evildoers who are behind it all. These people understand and employ occult level knowledge. And until we can combat this occult level knowledge with a similar understanding, then we are always going to be at the losing end. So we have to basically to increase our knowledge of what would be classed as the occult. And by the way, and again, Nathan, we must have mentioned this a million times. The word occult simply means hidden, and it relates to knowledge.
And how
Hidden
many times
knowledge.
do we have to repeat that mantra?
I know,
Because it is
but
it is a mantra at this point. It's like, I mean, everyone must now know that the occult it's let's face it, it's a study, it's an observation of nature.
yeah,
it's useful stuff that they've hidden. They've taken it from us. It's like you do a lot of things to do with foraging, right, and
Mm.
survival. You know how the seasons work. You know what food you can eat in the wild. You know
Yeah,
what grows where in what climate and what it does to you and what animal life is there, how the animals operate, how we operate. We look at things like our biological circadian rhythms and things like that, and how it all operates with the sunlight
mhm,
and the moon, light and the seasons. It's all of that. That's the occult. It's just
exactly.
it's just that they've made it sound like something it's not. They've made it sound evil, and yeah, of course, there is an element of that is. I'm going to say witchcraft, but even that to me, witchcraft is just another one of those misunderstood
Yeah,
um, fields of again, you want to talk about history? Look at the demonization of witches,
yeah,
which was basically, I call it a hostile takeover of things like herbal remedies and being in
yeah,
tune with nature.
exactly.
It was a hostile take. It was replacing natural medicines, natural remedies, natural ways of living, just ways of life and things. Eating from the earth and things like that, and replacing it with allopathic synthetic, genetically modified crap. Well, they needed to justify that by removing the old ways, which were in tune with nature. It's that natural way of being that is now occult knowledge. Well, of course it's occult. They've hidden it.
Hmm.
That's
Exactly
all it
right.
is.
I mean,
That's all it is.
when you think about it, I, I mean, I understand edible wild plants.
Yeah,
So edible wild plants foraging would be classed as an occult, you
yeah,
know, level of knowledge, simply because, well, a lot of wild plants offer nutrients and health benefits that a certain group of individuals would rather we did not know about. So they've
exactly.
hidden that knowledge from us, kind of ridiculed it and all the rest of it, labeled it as evil witchcraft in order to keep people mind controlled from that understanding. So that's
Yeah,
one example of it. So perfectly put. But in essence, it revolves around two fundamental elements: the microcosm and the macrocosm, relating in principle to the human mind and how the human mind operates, how
yeah,
consciousness works, and also how the laws of nature operate in the wider world or the macrocosm.
yeah,
So if we understand elements of how these two systems work and how they're in, inextricably combined, how they relate to each other, as above, so below, to quote,
yeah,
one of the principles, then we are further able to understand the world around us and to operate in a truer sense and to operate
yeah,
and to live in the world in accordance to the values that it abides by. And if we don't want to appreciate that, or we don't want to credit the laws of creation, well, we're doing a disservice to ourselves, and we're not going to be able to be what I would class as effective in combat.
hmm
So I hate to deride the truth movement, but it's a bit of an oxymoron,
It
because
is massively.
to be the truth movement means we have to understand truth, and then
Yeah,
we have to move in alignment to it. And I have to say it, if we do not, as a body of people, understand the natural laws inherent to the function and dynamics of the universe, then we do not either understand the truth. And if we don't understand the truth, then we cannot move in truth. So
yeah,
it has to be formulated in the mind first. We have to have the emotions, the heart-based intelligence to
yeah,
drive it forward, and then we have to apply that motion by, physical means, by putting it into action in the universe. That's essentially what the trivium is. And
yeah,
again, the trivium is a tool that the psychopathic ruling elite understand fully, because it's an occult science, it's an occult method of truth discovery. So if we understand the trivium process, i.e., we are understanding the hidden knowledge that is keeping us held back from our progress, we can then, achieve greater things. So where was I going with that? I mean,
It's so many places, but equally, what you've just described there is manifestation, real
yeah,
manifestation, not
exactly,
not the
exactly
fluffy
right.
bit. Um, but God, yeah. I mean, we are. I think, frustratingly flogging a dead horse largely because a lot of people now are so convinced that their own echo chambers are providing them with the answers. So, I
Well,
mean,
I mean, just on that note, Nathan, can I say this? I mean, I do not want to massively promote what I used to do as a soldier.
mm,
Okay? I mean,
yeah,
I've got all the skills and qualifications that will impress anybody on a soldiering level. You know, if we are in a genuine war, which we are, which is a cognitive warfare operation, an ongoing, serious hardcore
yeah,
psyop in order to thwart us on a psychological level, then we have to develop the one weapon that's being affected, and that's the weapon of the mind.
exactly,
If we understand the occult level information that's going to help us become more combat effective in combating this warfare campaign, then we can stand a better chance of achieving what we want. And brings me back to, and again, I'm just going to use
mm,
sort of NATO doctrine here. So there's 10 principles of war, and again, I'm not going to cover them all here. The
mm,
first one, however, is the most important one because it is the selection and maintenance of the aim.
yeah,
If we, again, we talked about unity and
mm,
what's the word? Coming together with a common purpose, right? Our common purpose has to be the selection and maintenance of the aim. So, what is it we want as a truth movement? Well, we want truth. We also want
right,
freedom.
yeah,
So, freedom, in order to develop freedom, we need to all focus upon freedom as our selection and maintenance.
yeah,
We need to select freedom and we need to maintain it. The way to do that is to understand, I mean, I'm going to say occult level information because if you understand the occult, we'll also understand the law of freedom, which states that as morality in,
increases,
improves,
yeah,
um, freedom improves, and we need to know that we need to appreciate these principles in nature. This isn't just me and Nathan making this up because we've read it on we saw it in a YouTube video. This is how the universe operates. Freedom and morality are directly intertwined. Therefore, if we want freedom, we have to understand that morality plays a massive leading
yeah,
role in how this is accumulated. So again, all of these things fall under natural law, and natural law needs to be the focus of the truth movement. And sadly, and I hate to say it to the truthers out there who might be listening, hopefully, if you as an individual don't understand natural law and the truth movement doesn't understand the principles of natural law, then you can effectively expect to lose because you don't
right.
grasp the dynamics required to make freedom happen.
I, I mean, I've got nothing to add to that other than please, if you are listening, if you have come through to this this part of the video, apply that, or try and try. If you don't, again, if you don't understand
Hold the
that,
book up
then
again. Hold the
say it again,
book
mate.
up. Hold your book up again because it's written down in there. It
Here we
explains it.
go.
I mean, we obviously offer information on how natural law works. It's not something you can just you can hear it once and expect to be an expert at it. Sadly, it takes a little bit of time and encouragement in order to procure that
Yeah.
information or process it. It's in Nathan's book. And again, I mentioned earlier, there's several things I recommend. That book is one of them because frankly, I think that's one of the best books available that explains natural law in a very concise and comprehensive manner.
Oh yeah. So I'm trying to as we speak there, I'm trying to get to the natural law section because somebody once pointed it. Well, somebody asked me the question that on the front cover it says like with all the other psyops that natural law is listed there, and they said, "Are you trying to say that natural law is a psyop?" I said, "No, but it's often misquoted. It's often misunderstood by, ironically, the New Age, circles that
Mm.
they try and tell you that it is the law of attraction is one of the laws of the universe and things like this. And it's like, well, no, that's not that. It's not. I mean, there's various levels of natural law. Some of it's physical natural laws, which would, if you look at the Hermetic principles, things like that. That's that's almost like an underlying mechanic to the whole universe. I mean, it's very difficult to not see that in things. Polarity and consequentialism and just the interconnectedness of things and how it all operates from that level. And I'm not even going to go into that. But equally, there is another level of that which is that I'm trying to give you some examples here. So he's a misunderstanding of natural law, right? uh I'm talking about hermetic natural law, not the moral natural laws. So for example, the law of vibration. The New Age says good vibes only, right? This is what they think it's about. Oh, it's about your personal vibration. Are you are you vibrating at a low frequency of negativity or high of positivity? The law of vibration has got nothing whatsoever to do with that. It's not about good vibes and
Yeah,
positivity. It's about literally the vibratory nature of everything within the universe, right? Everything vibrates at a certain frequency. Energy, frequency, and vibration is just one of those expressions.
yeah,
Um, it's not difficult, but it's not difficult to understand if you really want to understand it. What is difficult is trying to find the truth of it. And the reason I think that the New Age is a massive psyop that's put there to derail us and to stand us down is because they put so much disinformation out there, so much crap that
mm,
it muddies the waters, and it makes people look at that. um and just the law of attraction on its own is enough to make a sensible man go
yeah.
what.
Do you know
And
what, mate? I think there's a lot of fluff and fantasy
hmm,
involved in, and I'm generalizing in the new age kind of movement, if you like, the new age concept. The fluff
yeah,
and fantasy has diluted reality out of that equation. I mean, a lot
massively.
of people will realize that there's something magical about the universe. And I'm going to say magical in inverted commas.
Hmm,
That magical nature is what natural law is. It's the
right.
laws that govern reality. And it has got magical quality. You could say it's got magical qualities about it. Why? Because it's slightly outside of our kind of the magnitude of our understanding. So therefore,
Yeah,
we perceive it as slightly magical. When we understand it in better detail, we'll realize that yes, it makes a whole load of sense on a sort of physical human level. And all we have to do is basically align to the values that it provides us with
yeah,
through understanding how it operates, understanding the nature of reality, and then really we've got it sus. We can then align ourselves in partnership to the will of the
yeah,
creator. What we're doing now, and even the truth movement, through again, I don't want to use the term ignorance, but
hmm,
through its own lack of knowledge on how the occult works and how
hmm,
natural law works, what we've done is we're falling in partnership to the will of the psychopaths who are directing that who want to become gods on earth, and they're doing
well.
it through directing their will upon us.
Well, okay. I mean, let's take that. I'm gonna call it a night in a minute because I'm absolutely knackered. But let's take that the whole idea of becoming gods on earth, right? That's I guess it's almost a form of solipsism. It's almost like saying that I am the center of all things and there's only me that exists, but not quite from that level. But what it is doing is saying that if there is no God. And again, I don't like using the word God because it's not how I would understand it. That's not how I would
Mm,
sell that to somebody. I think God is very misunderstood from a universal
yeah,
perspective. Anyway, but let's just take it for the sake of argument. Um, it's saying that, well, if we're atheists, if we dismiss that, then if there is no God, then there is no code of objective morality. Then we can do whatever we want. Morality is what we make it. We can make it all about ourselves, which is subjective. It's selfishness, and it's a satanic construct. It is the inversion of the self, saying that the only thing that should stop you is how far you can take it, right? And so the mindset that goes along with that, and this is not an attack on atheists, but the atheism and the Satanism, as in the religion of Satanism, not the
Mm.
devil worship. I'm not on about devil worship. I'm on about the Satanic Church, right? It the ideologies between atheism and Satanism on that level they are very, very similar, which is that we can do anything, we make the rules, we make the morality, we make the codes of practice, we can do whatever we want, and if nobody stops us, that justifies it, right?
Mhm.
That's the way it's. And again, that's not an attack on atheists because I can appreciate the atheist mindset, right? I understand God from a very different perspective than religious people or even spiritual people for that matter. I think God and nature is the same thing.
Mhm.
I think God and the universe and nature is the same thing. I don't think that there is a personal uh, fella sat on a cloud up there dictating rules in stone,
Yeah.
right? I don't go for that. Equally, I think it's a lot more mystical than we give it credit for. But the very nature itself, the universe itself, the wonders, the things that we don't know, the things that we haven't. There's a lot of stuff there, and it doesn't need to be a negative thing. We can use that. We can understand parts of it. And again, another misquote from the truth movement is, oh well, true wisdom is knowing that we know nothing. Yeah, okay. From the perspective that Socrates was using it in, which is the more that you know, the more that you actually go and find out and figure out, the more
Mm.
you realize there's always more and more to know, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
not saying that knowing nothing is wisdom. No, that's the inversion of wisdom, right? Knowing
Mhm.
nothing is ignorant because it's choosing to know nothing. Wisdom is realizing that there's always more to know, and in the grand
Yeah.
scheme of everything, you don't know that much at all. So what you do know, you need to use it wisely. You need to really know it. You need to really understand it, because without that true knowing, without that true understanding of how nature works, you can't build on that, which means you can't progress from that, which means that your level of knowledge is always going to be stunted. It's always going to be restricted. It's always going to be tiny. And in which case, yeah, it is. You are going to be the very epitome of an ignorant species. Personally, I think I think we've got a hell of a lot of potential. I
Mhm.
think the universe is largely knowable. I think it is largely explorable. I
Oh
think
yeah,
it's largely
massive.
relatable. So, but anyway, I think we can definitely go into all of this stuff in more episodes to come. But mate, I'm
Yeah.
absolutely knackered. I'm
Yeah,
I'm
mate.
exhausted.
Well, I mean, I don't know how long we've been chatting for, but I'm gonna guess it's probably 3 hours plus.
Oh, about that, yeah.
Is it? So, hey,
Oops.
why don't we finish off with some? I don't know, plug some of our material, and hopefully, look forward to another podcast at another time. I
um,
mean, it's been a long time coming, so I'm glad to
it
get
has, isn't it?
certain things discussed.
But I mean, mate, if you're free anytime next week, give us a buzz. Like I don't,
Yeah,
ideally
happy
a
days.
bit earlier, but if you're free, just give us a buzz and we'll do a few more while I'm still up here and I've got decent internet connection. Because
Well,
obviously
she will start off with short copy of Fake Away again, mate. Honestly,
are
that
we
to
plugging
me,
it enough today, Steve? Are we there we go. Not
it's
that you can see it's a
I've
shiny new
I've got to
copy.
say, mate, this is a brilliant book. I think this is one of the books that the truth movement are feared to read because they're too egotistical at the minute to they'll think
Yeah.
that book is about them. Yes, it is, but guess what? I was fake awake my
So
most of
was
my
I, mate.
I was the most fake awake person I know of. I couldn't be more fake awake. But knowing some of the information that I mean, obviously, I didn't read the book and
I was going to
the
say, unless you
but
acquired it from the future Akashic records.
yeah, exactly. But the information in the book, if I had read that, 15 years ago, that would have blown my mind because
But
this is the
didn't
stuff
you
we
know,
need to
mate?
know.
I'm just negative, and I've had a lot of interesting comments from people who haven't read it. Incidentally, they will read the synopsis online. They'll get a little bit of the opening chapters, and they'll be like, "Oh, well, you've said that, and you think that." It's like, no, 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 no. That's the opening chapter. Really, you need to pick it up and digest it, because if you're the one saying that, you're the one that needs to read it the most.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
from me, and I was a former soldier. I want the truth movement to win. So
Yeah.
my mind, my heart, my effort is to make the truth movement win this cognitive war. the way to do that, I mean, one thing is read the battle strategy, read the battle winning mentality that's available in the book Fake Awake, because
I want to go
put your
into that in a
egos
whole lot
aside.
more detail. That needs a lot more to get. That's one of the areas that I want to really go into a lot more. But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But that is a
Oh,
really, really important
worries, man.
step to this. I mean, it really
So
is.
again, the truth movement really, again, I want the truth movement to win. I want the truth movement, the moving truth, and the way to do that is to understand and value, appreciate, and align oneself to the principles of natural law. Again, mate, you've written it in a really comprehensive and digestible, and not only that, a very personalized manner. There's some great anecdotes. It's very down to earth. To me, that
Thank you.
book should be a bestseller. I'm not just saying that.
It'd be nice if it was, but
It
but
should
but
be a
yeah.
bestseller. There's a couple of other things. I mean, obviously, we do the Drunken Alchemists podcast. Nathan, I know you do a podcast. Mate, you'll have to remind me what the name of that is.
So that one's Last Revolution. By the way, you're welcome on there as well. I mean, it's not just it's not
Mm,
an exclusive thing, but it was I wanted one where we could interview guests.
yeah,
So at the minute, I've done a lot with Bowler Hat Farmer. Hopefully, I can get a lot more from Bowler Hat Farmer because he's great. I mean, he's got a lot of
yeah,
good
it's an
book and
interesting book. I've listened to a few of your podcasts, mate.
oh,
They're
brilliant.
entertaining.
So well, but anyway, thank you. But the idea behind that is we want to. I just want to like broaden it out a little bit and get some guests but it's just it's finding the time at the minute. I can't keep up with anything. So
It's a lot of work, to be honest. I mean, I would personally like to. I'd like us, us two, to talk to Mark Barr from the Coop Files. He's a really intelligent bloke. His
yeah,
information, his podcast. I mean, I would encourage anyone who's interested in natural law material, war winning material, to look
yeah,
into Mark Barr's deep dives into human consciousness and human nature and natural law. I'd also recommend the Voluntarist Academy.
well, that's
Now,
a new one.
this is something I've
Okay,
just fairly recent knowledge about. The Voluntarist Academy. The guy who runs it is an American guy called, I believe he's called James Cordner or something
mm,
along those lines. His stuff is excellent. So I'd
okay,
massively recommend that. Obviously, we run the Occult Academy Telegram channel, and
yep,
again, the links are in the description on the Nathan on the channel. Again, I would recommend if anyone is in the Occult Academy as a member of that Telegram group, I'd like to think that you value the information that
mm,
that we present on there, that we kind of put it into that group. We need more members. All I can say is if we want to
ideally,
change the world for the better, well, we can't keep it to you know, we need to expand upon that number of people. I can only say that we all need to take a part in that. So if we can encourage more participation
yep.
from friends and family, etc., the wider community into that, that would be brilliant. Um,
Well,
what else we got?
I was going to say, so if anyone, when everyone like says to you, oh, well, how do I make you a contact on Telegram or how do I get into the group? And it's like, well, uh, not entirely sure. Follow the link, but it's a bit difficult to follow a link when we're talking about it. So there's a way around that now. So we've got a website. It's a multifaceted website with a load of things in development. It's not all ready to go yet, but on if you do want to join us over on the Occult Academy, if you now go to www.occultacademy.co.uk, and I hope I'm saying that right. If you go there, it will direct you to the Occult Academy section of the website that we've got, and it'll have a link like a Telegram join link. So if you just go onto there, occultacademy.co.uk, and click on the Telegram Occult Academy link, and it'll take you straight to it as a like an invite link. Just click on that, and then you're in. You're in. But I mean, obviously, you need a Telegram account first. So if you haven't got a Telegram account, you'll need to create that. But
Mhm.
that will take you directly to it. Um,
You've
The
got
other
the website as well, Nathan Lucius dot, is it .com?
Oh yeah, I went all out for that one. NathanLucius.com for that. So but
Brilliant.
again, work in progress,
It's
but it's
Mate,
there.
it's looking good though. I've flicked through it. It's that's
Thank you.
brilliant, mate. Well done with that.
Well, I would say check out the blog section, but something seems to have gone very, very wrong with the recent blog that I've done, which is that it seems to have duplicated half of the text, and it's like, oh. But
Mm.
anyway, again, so I'm working on it. I know it needs a massive edit in the blog section, but I was just toying with it to see how it worked and stuff like that. So um, I'd like you to provide some blogs on there as well, if you wouldn't mind, because it's you
Yeah,
can
happy days.
just
Yeah.
an article, just what you do in a cult academy, just take some of those articles and send it
Mm.
over, and I'll put it as a blog. Um, I haven't got the slightest clue what to do with the blog, but anyway, it's there. It's work in progress. It hasn't been updated in about 3 weeks because I haven't got the bloody time at the minute.
Yeah.
Um, but equally, I will give somebody else a plug. Actually, because this is I don't know whether you can
Oh,
see
right.
that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's a
Wait.
book that I've published. So I'm going to read you the title because my camera's a bit blurry. It's Confessions of a Compromised Activist During the Great Reset. So that is from a friend of mine, Wayne Burdett. He's a very good author. I mean, he took me by surprise because he writes very quickly. He doesn't use AI to do his writing, unlike a lot of people these days. It's his own work, and it's very interesting stuff in there. It's fiction, but it speaks for itself. You know, the Great Reset, COVID, the lockdowns, and all of that stuff, and it is based on a lot of interactions that we all had up here in certain groups. So you know, if anyone would like a copy of that, again, go to the website, look at the store page. I think it's called the store page. You can get it from there, or you can get it from Amazon worldwide. You can get it on Kindle as well for a lot cheaper than if you don't want to buy the the physical copy. But anyway, so that I just want to give that a plug. There is another one of his books that I'm working on at the minute. Um, it's been described as a space opera, like in the review, like when you send it over for review. But anyway, that is currently being edited as we speak, and hopefully I'll be having that published. I'm hoping to get it published by Tuesday, so then I'll give that another plug. But anyway, that's a space opera if anyone's interested in kind of like a Star Trekky type space adventure. It's really good. He's a really good author. But that aside, you have also got a new website as well. So
Uh,
not a website, mate.
I've got a
God, see,
YouTube
it's like
channel.
YouTube channel. Yeah, tell us about the YouTube channel because I know you've been wanting to do this for a long time now. So
Yeah. The YouTube channel is called Six Blade Shadow School, which is on YouTube. And
yep,
basically, what I was hoping to do is basically get a load of my presentations stuck
yeah,
on YouTube. Excuse me. I mean, I used to have a BitChute channel which had a few presentations on, but obviously in the UK that's
yeah, that's gone
problematic.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if it helps, mate, I've got yeah, I did have two channels on BitChute which were quite popular. Well, three now, I had three. One was with John Hamer, so there was a lot of interviews with John on there, but like to do with his work and to do with but again, if you're in the US, you can find that. But I forgot what I think the one that I did with John is John Hamer official. If you look for that, you'll find it, and there's links to the other channels. But yeah, the BitChute section's gone. But equally, we do have hopefully access to YouTube and Telegram and things like that.
Yeah.
And there's a podcast. Oh, I'm working on it. I'm still trying to get my head around the RSS feeds and stuff like that. But there's a podcast option that we can look at as well. We've got a website, so if you want a page on the Occult Academy website just exclusively for your YouTube channel to promote your presentations on there, send over what you want, and I can get all that uploaded to the website as well. So you can have we can link it all in. We can do that to
So,
that. So
I
then
mean,
that gives people another outlet.
I think it'd be a fair point to say that. I mean, Nathan, we're just two average guys, and what we want to do is basically promote some information that
Yeah.
we've come into appreciation of. Excuse me, my voice has gone all hoarse.
That's right. I'll tell you what then. So on that note, so let's give it another plug just in case people didn't. So what your YouTube channel is?
Six Blades Shadow School.
Brilliant.
and it's very new. I've only got one presentation on there at the minute. I'm hoping
Yeah,
to,
but you've got
as
a
time.
library of presentations, mate, and they're all good. So
Thanks, mate. Well, I just hope to upload them in a timely fashion. So please be patient. You know, as I say, we're two average guys. We're trying to get as much information out there as possible in terms of presentations and podcasts, etc. Books, even.
yeah,
Telegram groups. Again, these are things that would hope to inspire and encourage other people to have a stab at. It's hard work, I'll be quite honest. There's a lot involved, especially when it comes to the
yeah,
technical IT stuff. I'm not saying it's easy, but we've got to put our game faces on.
yeah.
You
Just mate. I mean, this look the extent. I mean, you look even more professional than me at the minute. You got your headset and stuff, and look, this is my studio. There's my ring light.
know.
uh, the microphone's in the camera, like in the laptop, and the camera clearly needs a bit of improvement. But that's it. It's what Mark Passio says, isn't it? Look, just start, just get out there and just do something, just produce something, and if we know stuff, if we've got information, we've got knowledge, then share it. I'm not a tech expert. I'm not particularly competent with this kind of stuff. But equally, just do something. Just
It's
there's
the
always
great
something.
work ultimately. The alchemical great work is putting yourself out there and sharing information in order to change the world for the better. I mean, it's no easy undertaking, but you know,
Well, no, but
it's
if you don't start, you can't improve. And so the way I look at it is, at least we've started, right? Which means that we
yeah,
can only improve it from this, perspective, and hopefully make a bit of a positive impact. I mean, apart from sarcastic intro videos that, but I enjoyed that. I think it was a
yeah. It was a laugh. It was something different, wasn't it? And hopefully people will not be massively buttered. We're taking a piss slightly. You know,
I'd like,
ultimately, I mean, people can take the piss out of me. And I'll say this, and I'll say it quite regularly. I was the biggest order following buffoon out there. I mean, I changed my understanding because I came into contact with information that changed. That somehow a spark fucking changed the way my mind processed, and I was able to improve myself for the better
yeah,
towards the betterment of humanity, and that's what we need to angle ourselves towards.
yeah. Again, I can say that, but something. Sorry, right. Last thing, right? When you mentioned about you were once fake awake. Yeah, so was I. That's how I'm able to look back and go, oh, I made a few mistakes. But that's how I
Yeah,
recognize the mistakes. That's how I can see other people now repeating all of those mistakes all over again. Only new psyops, new directions,
yeah,
new misdirections, new deceptions. They're all, some of them. Well, I would say most of them have got the same hallmarks of you can identify them. But I fell down those rabbit holes too, right? You fell down those rabbit holes too.
yeah, exactly.
I made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I mean a lot. I mean, nothing too bad, I'd like to think, but equally, I'm not exactly, that I wasn't born with. This took a lot of work, and we're still got a way to go, right? Is what I'm trying to say. Is nobody's born perfect.
Yeah,
Nobody's
exactly.
born with all the answers. It's stuff that you work at. Unfortunately, I seem to have been a late starter in life, and
Hey, me
realized that
too,
I'd
mate.
wasted half of it.
But you know what? Ultimately, the first rule of a cult initiation, be honest, to be honest with ourselves.
Yeah,
And again, I'll be brutally, and I have been brutally honest with myself. I'm not saying it's an easy roller coaster ride, but ultimately, that's what we've got to do. We've got to realize that some of this new age, religious,
yeah.
authoritarian mumbo jumbo that we fall for and adhere to, we've got to ditch that shit. We've got to,
What's I absolutely agree, but something occurred to me the other day, and again, it's not a new revelation. It's something that in the occult. It's the first thing you're taught sometimes. It's the main theme of it, but something that was, let's say, I had to come across. It was almost like you've forgotten that bit, right? And the bit that I'd not necessarily completely forgotten, but went to the back of my mind is know thyself, right? And that's it's one of the main occult teachings, know thyself. and
yeah,
and it's and it yeah, I can't remember the last time I said that to somebody. It's like, what that means is introspection, right? Take a look at yourself. understand your traits, your vices, your virtues, your archetypes, your psychological traits, your behaviors, understand the reasons for that,
Mhm.
understand why you tick the way you do, understand how other people tick the way they do, understand that you are part of a greater species, uh, there's a lot to it. But this is where the shadow work comes into it. And we're not born experts. The shadow work is when you're ready, because when you do go into that, when you do start exploring your own psyche, some of the stuff that you find in there, it's just like, oh, I don't like that at all. But equally, you've got to make peace with it. And the only way to make peace with it is to acknowledge it and to investigate it and to understand it. And so I think if it's all right with you, mate, we should end this particular one on know thyself. You
Yeah,
know,
I agree,
do the
mate.
oldest of all the occult teachings. Go and do the inner work. Go and do the shadow work. Know thyself. That being said, mate, I'm about to drop. So, um,
Happy days. I think we've discussed a lot tonight. I know it's probably
yeah.
been another epic for anybody listening. So, hats off and much appreciation and to yourself, mate.
Well, I look forward to the next one, and hopefully we can get a couple in next week if you get the time. Just let me know when, and then we'll try and hammer a few out and hopefully get a presentation, a proper presentation, not like today's. That's the thing.
Hey, it was
If,
fun though. I enjoyed that. It was
good.
hopefully people have had a bit of a laugh at that.
Well, you never know. We're going to go viral tomorrow for the dickheads who believe in the blue avians and they think that Gordon Ramsay's part of the bloodline and the savior Trump is going to rescue us all from oblivion. So you never know. There is that. Anyway, mate. Well, for thank you for joining me tonight. I know it was a bit of a short notice thing. It's just I figured what I've got a tiny bit of time. I'm going to take it. Let's
Happy
utilize
days,
it.
mate. Mate,
Um,
all the best to
there
you,
we go.
fella.
And
And
cheers to you too, mate, and for everyone listening in. So I've got to take my magic monatomic lead and blue avian juice just to make me superhuman. Yeah. So if you've made it this far, thanks very much. I think you quite literally deserve a medal for this one if you manage to get through the first hour. But
it's our
uh,
shortest yet.
I'm saying nothing. Right. Uh, that being said, everyone needs to sod off now and get a life or something. What are you still listening to us for? What? Seriously, go home. Oh, if you're already home, I mean, just turn us off. The podcast's finished. Just go away. See you next time. And I'll wait. I'm still waiting to press the button. People, go home, get some sleep.